借り立てた。俺の財宝か。欲しけりゃくれてやる。探せ。この世のすべてをそこに置いてきた。
男たちはグランドラインを目指し夢を追い続ける。世はまさに大海賊時代。
ありつけの夢をかき集め、探し物を探しに行くのさ。ワンピース羅針盤なんて渋滞のもと、熱に浮かされ怪事を取るのさ。誇りかぶってた宝の地図も確かめたのなら伝説じゃない。個人的な話は誰かのファンをリズム乗っかって思い過ごせばいい。ありったけの夢をかき集め、探し物を探しに行くのさ。ポケットの恋、それと You wanna be my friend. We are on the groove. We are
Hello and welcome, chat. We are here. Low-key, our volume very low. Sorry about that. Chat, how are we doing? Guys, if anyone has some artwork of Loki in his dragon form, please send me it. Please link it. I find it interesting. Loki's tattoo on his shoulder is literally the sun. I think we were talking about that the other day. But if anyone has some artwork of Loki in his dragon form, please send it over. I don't even... Okay, finally, there's one picture on the One Piece wiki of his dragon form. And then like 1,000 pictures of random other things. But chat, how are we doing? Hope everyone's having a great morning, day, or night, wherever you guys are. Time to react to One Peak 1175. Peak Piece. We are here, chat. How's everyone doing? Hope everyone's having a great morning, day, or night, wherever you guys are. Rebelling from against the Celestial Dragons, avoiding the Goy Slot. Chat, we're winning this year. This is the year of One Peak. This is the year that the Celestial Dragons shackles come to an end. You see, we're also repping the Mugiwaras this week. We're repping the Straw Hats today, chat. We're repping Monkey D. Luffy. We're repping Pirate King Zoro. All right, chapter 1175, NIDHOGG. I'm excited to read this as well, chat. I only read the short summary spoilers. I did not read the long summary spoilers, so I actually don't know what else is happening in this chapter. Actually, I don't even remember what the short summary spoilers said. I don't even remember what the short summary spoilers said. I might have to... No, there's no point in me going back and rereading them. I might as well just read the chapter, right? I think this chapter, we get the confirmation that Loki's fruit is NIDHOGG. I think Emu reacts to the fact that Loki is NIDHOGG. That's all I remember. But I do have the feeling that this is going to be a great chapter. I think my reaction to the short summary spoilers was a good reaction. I think it was a good reaction. Yo, Genghis, did you just move, man? Are you in a new house? Man, I also can't get over Loki's dragon form, the NIDHOGG form. So sick. With the flaming eyes? Dude, why is Loki just so cool? Literally turned out to be one of the coolest characters, man. Chat, should we just get right into the chapter? Should we just jump straight into 1175? I feel like One Piece hype has died the past 6 months. I feel like A lot of people stopped reacting to One Piece. A lot of people stopped reading One Piece. I even think a bunch of creators just like dropped off the face of the map. People are just like so over One Piece. I don't know, man. What was the downfall of One Piece for people? People are just like tired of it. It wasn't even necessarily like the Elbaf arc. People just, I don't know. Maybe it was the Elbaf arc. Chat, what do you think's causing like the death of One Piece? I want to know. Yeah, buddy, this is peak now. Got a 24-hour store nearby. Lots of great restaurants. Room is bigger to accommodate VR. Oh, you're gonna play VR games now? Gotta play some VR Skyrim, VR Minecraft. Yeah, you gotta do what this one YouTuber did. He played Minecraft VR for like 24 hours straight. He went to sleep with the VR headset on. And when he woke up, he was automatically in the Minecraft VR because he had the headset on. Just get a load, just get tons of pizza rolls, Mountain Dew, and Doritos, and just live off of that. Live off the goysop while playing Minecraft. I'm sure you'll be fine. I'm sure it'll cause no adverse effects on your body. All right, chat. Should we just dive into the chapter reaction? Chapter 1175. We got my boy Sabo on the cover. We got Sabo on the cover with koalas and koala, which, by the way, wait a second. What is that in Sabo's hand? It looks like a planet. GLO. I feel like the book says global. Yo, look on the cover. Cover request by Ramen Maru. Sabo getting swarmed by koala joeys. Kanji is Thunder Dragon. Wait, where's Thunder Dragon? Oh, Thunder Dragon's the title. Guys, if you look at the cover page, do you guys see the book Sabo's holding? It looks like the book says GLOB, like global. And then when you look at the book, I feel like that's a planet. Then there's something in the middle, like maybe a ship. Who else is looking at the cover? Yo, Vswat, welcome in, bro. God bless, brother. How you doing, man? Who else is looking at the cover to 1175? Look very closely at the book. Here, maybe I can actually screenshot this. Do you want to be my friend? We are on a groove. All right, chat. Look at this, man. G right here, LO, and then this is going to be a B. And then this looks like it's a planet, right? But there's something here in the middle. It's like a ship or something. This is like a planet, dude. Global what? Then you got a planet. This is like a planet. This is a country right here. This is this is South America. This is the US. This is Africa. Yo, I'm not even joking. South America, US and Canada, and then this is Africa right here. And then this is like a ship, like a spaceship, or I don't know, something. It's like smudged. I'm doing good, bro. What about you, man? All right, we're gonna come back to this, but we got the GOAT. We got the absolute GOAT, the absolute legend, Sabo on the cover. We love to see Sabo. Awesome character, great guy. Sabo is approved. He is evil approved. He is 333 approved. He is a certified legend. He is a certified MVP, a certified GOAT. All right, let's get straight into this chapter, guys. The captured straw hats are, okay. Is that Robin? All right, Robin's captured by Summers. Wait, no, is that Sanji actually? No. Yeah, well, I mean, she's captured by Summers, but Sanji's breaking the thorns. All right, Sanji. You get a little W, Sanji. Sanji, you get a little bit of a W. You get a little bit of a win. Saving Robin, saving the straw hats. Which, by the way, if you guys look to the left of Sanji, you have Who's standing right there next to Sanji? On our left, who's to the left of Sanji just watching, doing nothing? Can you tell me, chat? Who is that? Viswa, tell me. On the very first page of the chapter, panel number 3 or 4, who is that to our left of Sanji, just standing there watching? Who is that? I need to know. I want to know. Who is that doing nothing? Who is that being a useless bozo? Enlighten me. I will not continue reading the chapter until I get an answer, until I get the correct answer. I will hold the stream. I will hold the channel. I will hold the chat hostage. On the very first page of 1175, who is the character standing there doing nothing while Robin is literally captured by Summers and Sanji has to come save the day? Who is that? We got nobody answering. Thank you, Vincent. Thank you. The only non-bot in the chat, Vincent. Thank you for the answer. Gingish is unpacking his I don't even know what to call it. His boxes. Viswa, I don't know what Viswa is doing. Thank you, Vincent. Welcome in, brother. Which, by the way, guys, I think we're gonna do the open mic today, chat. We're gonna do the open mic. Join stream voice call here. All right, guys. Any mods in the chat? Copy and paste this every 5 or 10 minutes. I would greatly appreciate it. If you guys are unable to copy it because you're on mobile or something, maybe I'll send it to you on Discord. Let me know if you need that message on Discord, and then you could just paste it in the chat every 10 minutes or something like that. But thank you. Thank you, Vincent. Thank you, Gingish. Thank you, Viswa. This was supposed to be Usopp's arc, and Usopp has amounted to zilch. Usopp has amounted to nothing. This is Loki's arc. Usopp is useless for this arc. He's nothing. He's garbage. 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 In fact, I bet by the time this arc ends, Usopp is going to be a useful goy. You guys want to bet? I bet by the time this arc ends, Usopp did no helping to the Elbaf citizens, to the Straw Hats, and in fact, caused more damage because they're going to take advantage of Usopp and his shortcomings. Does anyone want to bet? Who wants to bet? One way or another, Usopp did not help. He brought no benefit to this arc. And in fact, it's the opposite. Because of him being so lackluster, the enemies actually took advantage of his uselessness and made the situation even worse. I bet that. I'll bet my bottom dollar that's going to be the case. Dawn of Ascension with 133. The stream elements works. Thank you so much, Dawn of Ascension. God bless your soul. Chat, you see that? We got the stream elements working again. They tried to stop me. They tried to silence your boy. They tried to put a corkscrew in me. But they couldn't stop me, chat. They couldn't stop me. And everything you could think of. Getting my channel hacked. Getting, what do you call it? Getting shadow banned. Getting blacklisted from the One Piece creators. Yo, chat, everything you could think of. They try to stop your boy. All because I told you guys who the Celestial Dragons were. Then, let me guess. Then, what do? They started going against the stream elements, chat. They attacked my stream elements link, Viswa. They attacked the stream elements link. Why? All because I told you guys who the Celestial Dragons were. That has to be what it is. I was the first too. I was the first. They called me crazy. The answer is fraud Usopp. All right, let's continue. Robin, thank goodness. Thanks. That's our Sanji. So those vines are weak to higher temperatures. Much obliged. Yo, Jinbei, let's go. Man, I love Jinbei. Jinbei is like that goated unk. Jinbei is literally like that one really cool unk who is not a boomer, who you could trust, who will motivate you, who will cheer you up, who you can count on. Yo, could you imagine if Luffy didn't have Jinbei? Like, imagine when Ace died and Luffy was just going psycho. Imagine Jinbei wasn't there. Imagine Jinbei didn't care. I'm afraid there's no time to celebrate. Yeah, this hockey and that roar just now. All right. What is that massive shadow? Dude, that's Loki? Bro, no freaking way, man. Dude. Bro, I still can't get over how insanely gigantic Loki's monster form is. Like, when he's in his full dragon form, bro, there's no way that's the skull of Loki. Bro is like the size of Elbaf. West Village, Ripley, Oimo, Rodo. Our folks need help. They were stabbed by our thorns. Mommy's gonna die. Loki, the village isn't safe. Take the kids somewhere less dangerous. Not my problem. They went and jumped on my back. I'm just dropping them off. They went and jumped on my back. I'm just dropping them off. Yo, Loki, you're making yourself look bad right now, man. LJ-Tube? Wait, what does that mean? LJ-Tube. LJ-Tube. Are you saying like this website is J-Tube? It is J-Tube. Look who is the CEO of this site. It's always a Celestial. Every single time. Give it a second, you'll see how big he really is. Yo, pause? Pause? All right. Oh, look at Loki. Bro, I wish I could put this on the screen, man. I wish I could put this on the screen. Bro has the sickest dragon form. So much cooler than Kaido, man. And that's saying something. All of you, climb down now. Look, the monsters on the right are scared of Loki. Look how small the giant skeleton is compared to Loki. You even have like the giant ghost thing, poltergeist. I don't know what to call it. Then you have the Jormungandr monster. Look, they're all scared of Loki. And Loki's biting the bird. Wait, that reminds me of the mural. Wait a second. Yo, chat. 1138 mural? Maybe the mural was about the Elbaf War and not the final war. Or is it both? Did you notice the giant bird in Loki's mouth? Yeah, bro. That's why I'm thinking about the mural. It made me think of the mural. Yo, so do we agree that the big bird thing in the middle of the mural is Loki? Is that like Loki's monster form? And then the big warrior giant on the left is Loki's normal form? But the problem is like the giant on the left is not using a hammer. He's using a spear. Is that important to note? Or is it not important to note? All right. People of Elbaf, the children are safe. Let's go, Yarul. Let's go, Loki. Which, by the way, you guys see the, what do you call it? Is that the handcuff on Loki's right hand? Did it just grow in size because Loki went to animal form? Which, by the way, that has to be Luffy, right? Luffy on Loki's head, Luffy giant form. Oh, it's Zoro. Hey, bro, if that's Luffy in giant form, what does that say about Loki? You guys remember when Luffy went in giant form and he was like gonna stamp on Kaido? Look at how small Luffy's giant form is compared to Loki. Bro, is Emu gonna have a giant form even bigger than Loki? Thank goodness. There are no more hostages to worry about. All right. You guys took your sweet time. Don't tell me that dragon is. Yup, look, it's Loki. This place should be safe with you here. Which, by the way, guys, I just realized. Luffy said, oh, it's Zoro. Hey. Yeah, see? Luffy cares about his right-hand man. Yeah, that's no problem. Since you've already gone giant mode. Oh, see, he even confirmed it for anyone that was in doubt. No one should have been in doubt if Luffy was in giant mode, but now it's confirmed. Zoro's literally saying it. Since you've already gone giant mode, can you guys take care of those dream monsters? Elbaf won't last long if we leave them be. On it. Look at that. We got Zoro telling Luffy what to do. Oh, man. Yo, being a Zoro fan is just like, bro, you just kick back, relax, enjoy life, sipping a margarita on the beach. It's so fun. It's so great knowing who the right-hand man of Luffy is. You think it's a regular wristband? It might be some impromptu weapon he ends up picking up in Marijoa, like some huge spear or something. Who's going to use the Thor? Usopp? On it. Thud, thud. Huh? They came raining down out of nowhere. These things are... It's more thorns. Get the children inside. Quick. Give up already, you dummies. That creep's still after us. I ain't gonna let any of you trash sheep survive. You cheated me out of that touching moment. Yo, Summers, I agree with Smokey. You're gonna get your pack smoked. I'm pretty sure Summers is going to die. I think Summers is gonna get the Saint Saturn treatment. I know people like Young Smokey strongly believe that Garling is going to get the Saint Saturn treatment, but I think Summers has way more there's a way higher probability that Summers gets killed. Emu's going to punish Summers. Emu's going to when the mission on Elbaf fails, Emu's going to take his anger out on Summers. My point is the mural might have some stuff in it we will only understand later. Yeah, probably the case. The captain of the 3 sword pirates taking charge. This 3 sword pirates. All right, we got Luffy again. Actually, this might be for the best. Since the brats were saved, I haven't failed the mission yet. I can still take them to the Holy Land as planned. But first... I'll finish off their dying parents. Taste my rapid-fire thorn launcher. Bro, why does this feel like some cartoon comic book Captain Underpants kind of thing? Looks so goofy. He has like thorn snakes with guns for mouths. I won't let you. This time I'm going to save Mom and the rest. Me too. Me 3. Huh? I'm going to cry. You morons are priceless. At this point, screw it. I don't even care about the mission anymore. I'm just grateful I get to kill you guys myself. Now who's going first? Look, bro is so thrilled about abusing the little ones. Yo, chat, someone needs to tell St. Summers about what Christ said with the millstone. Yo, what's good, Jay, bro? How's it going, man? Someone needs to tell St. Summers about what Christ said when it comes to the millstone. Who knows? Yo, I'm telling you, St. Summers really is in those files, man. St. Summers is in the Epstein files, man. I guarantee you St. Summers is talking about grape soda, beef jerky, the pizza. Yo, St. Summers was the one that sent Epstein that video. Nice torture video. That was St. Summers, chat. That was Summers. Nice torture video, Epstein. I'll never forget the brave look on your face, on your simple faces. Say goodbye now. Colin, please run. No, I'm going to protect you, Mommy. Shtunk. Oh, no. Colin, no. Is Colin going to die? Flip the page. Bling, 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 bling. Zoro saves the day. Zoro saves the day. It was Zoro that saved their lives, bro. Zoro. He just, how many children is that there? Is that right there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kids. Way to go, Zoro. I knew you had this in the bag. Ha 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 ha. Bro. All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Yo, Zoro is just, man. I can't imagine someone not liking this guy. I hope Zoro gets his own spinoff. Bro is perfect. He is the perfect character. Yeah, now go. What? Who did that? Oh, we got Luffy 2.0. He grabbed Thunder again. Zoro, he's a member of my crew, and don't you forget it. Gomu Gomu no. Oh, shoot. We got the return of Luffy. Giant mode, grabbing lightning. Look at him. Look. Hey, that's the, what do you call the pose? Like the Chinese pose where you got the hua. What do you call that? What do you call the, bro, you guys know what I'm talking about. The Chinese statue, bro. Luffy's grabbing lightning and he's doing that like Chinese warrior pose. Come on, you guys know what I'm talking about. What do you call that? Let's go, Luffy. Oh, look, there's a sniper icon. Luffy's grinning. Beep, beep. Oh, wait, Luffy's shooting Summers. Wait, I just realized it's not Summers having a crosshair on Luffy. It's Luffy's crosshair on Summers. Look at Summers. He's seething. Oh, Kabuki. Is that what it is? Kabuki? The Kabuki pose? Wait, are you sure? Kabuki's a play. Look, Luffy's going like this. He's like aiming at Summers with the lightning rod, right? And Summers is just seething. Urgh. All right, Luffy's coming through. Huh? Look, Summers is pissing himself. Booming Dawn Thor Rifle. Look at that big punch. Look at that big punch, Saturn. Or not Saturn. Well, Saturn too, but Summer's getting completely rocked, bro. Summer's getting completely rocked. Gomu Gomu no Booming Dawn Thor Rifle. Completely annihilated. Look at that. Is that a broken nose? Oh, Saturn's skull got cut in half. Bro, Luffy just cut this dude's head off. He literally cut Saturn's head off. Look, his scalp came off, and the middle of his face came off from his teeth. His teeth are even shattering. Luffy just caught a body, guys. He caught a body. The straw hats. Oh, it came off. Mom, that's... I finally got to see it. Luffy-kun's white form. He really does look just like Nika. I believe he's the one. The warrior of liberation. Let's go. Did you just say Nika? Pff, that's just a tale told to scare kids. Huh? It's a real NIDHOGG. We were really saved by that? Well, time to go. Yeah. That's Loki, all right. This is the first time I've seen him like this too. So you're saying Elbaf's national treasure is? It's a forbidden fruit. Hey, Wano's national treasure was a person. Hiyori. Elbaf's national treasure is an item. The forbidden fruit. What is Wano's national treasure? Or what is Marijoa's national treasure? What is the national treasure of Marijoa? I still believe, I have a whole full video explaining this. I still believe emu is the national treasure of Marijoa. That's what makes most sense. But chat, what do you guys think? I want to know. What do you believe is the national treasure of Marijoa? If you guys haven't watched it already, go look up my video on YouTube about the national treasure of Marijoa. Go watch that video. Full breakdown. And do you guys think it's emu? Do you think it's a fruit? Do you think it's the straw hat? What is the national treasure of Marijoa? The mythological dragon fruit. It is said that whoever eats it can transform into the world's most colossal dragon. The size of the creature is relative to the initial size of whoever ate the fruit, of course. Think of it this way. A giant would grow larger than a human, undergoing the same transformation, and an ancient giant's growth is naturally even greater than that. That combination is what brings out the devil fruit's true potential. They say this dragon breathes lightning, and when it flies, its jet black body can turn day into night. Yo, what if Uranus is like a mechanical Nidhogg? Straw Hat or the Giants? Wait, the Giants are the national treasure of Marijoa? How does that work? Yo, what if Uranus is a mechanical Nidhogg, like an artificial Nidhogg? So the fruit was forbidden and hidden due to its immense power? Not quite. It's just been protected by the hammer guardian, Ragnir. In Elbaf, there is a legend about a god of war who fought with Ragnir. It is said that he took the form of a giant dragon and he locked horns with the sun god. He was accompanied by a loyal partner, the ice squirrel, Ratatoskr. To make a long story short, after his master died, they say the loyal Ratatoskr came to possess the weapon Ragnir and awaits his master's return, or so the legend goes. Wow. Hey, this is important, guys, because this is giving us information. This is information. This is critical information about the Nika, about the sun god, about the joy boy. Oy vey, the pirates know. Oy vey, the pirates know. The pirates found out about Nika, the sun god. We gotta shut down the straw hats. I've heard enough. Another 6 gorillion berries to Marijoa. We gotta open the borders of Dressrosa. We can't let them know about the sun god. They're gonna persecute us as celestial dragons again. Oy vey. He was accompanied by a loyal partner, the ice squirrel Ratatoskr. I wonder how important Ratatoskr will be in the legend of Nika. The legend about a god of war who fought with Ragnir. It is said that he took the form of a giant dragon and locked horns with the sun god. But they just called the sun god the god of liberation. Now they're calling this other guy a god of war. So the god of war and the god of liberation are not actually the same person. Which, by the way, guys, look at the shield. Do you guys see the shield Nika's carrying? I don't know what page 10 I think I'm on. The shield that Nika's holding with the sword, that shield, is that not what we see when Emu's walking in like the ice chambers? You guys know when Emu's like underground in like the Shabbat Lubavitch tunnels? That's some elite bald knowledge right there. You guys wouldn't get it. My bad, Chad. Didn't mean to be antiseptic. Chat, Chat, you guys remember when Emu is walking through the New York tunnels and there's like that cross thing? Bro, look at Nika's shield. It has like the cross with the circle. I don't remember what chapter it is. I think it's 906. One Piece chapter 906. Yo, what's good, Dean's Life? It's good, Young King. Actually, am I allowed to have this on screen, bro? Do. Is it 906 where Emu's walking through the Shabbat Lubavitch tunnels? Yeah, it is. Okay. Chat, hear me out. You guys see this up here? Look, you guys see this? Look, before people start spamming it on TikTok and Twitter, I called it first, chat. I'm just kidding. I really don't care. But you guys see? Look. You guys see right here? Oh, it's also right here. You see the gear where Emu's like turning to open the door. There's the cross with the circle. But look up here, right? After Emu opens the door, you see there's the cross with the circle. It's very faint. I don't know if you guys can actually see it. You guys see it? Right up here, it's the cross with the circle. If you guys want to look it up yourself, go to chapter 906 right here towards the very end of the chapter. It's cross with the circle, cross with the circle, cross with the circle. It's like a design. In chapter 1175, when we see like the old Nika fighting the god of war, it's the same thing on his shield. It's literally the same thing. Plus, this Nika seems to be darker skinned than the one we've seen before. Yo, I already have an answer for that. You know what Oda's going to do? Oda's going to say that like the very first people, like Nika, Joy Boy, and all of them, he's going to say that they were all like black. Oda's going to push the out of Africa theory. Which, by the way, did you know it was a celestial dragon who created that theory? Elbaf versus Nika. But it seems Ragnir is no longer acting as a guard for the fruit's power. It's finally made its choice. It chose Loki. Bro, this is just so sick. Why is Loki so cool, dude? Why is Loki so sick, man? Look at the thunder raining out of the sky, man. So if this Zoan fruit chose Loki, and we know from chapter 1044 that Zoan fruits have a will of their own, did the Gomu Gomu no Mi, aka the sun god Nika fruit, which we know is a Zoan, did it choose Luffy? Can we say for certain, chat, is it pretty much confirmed? Is this a soft confirmation that the Nika fruit chose Luffy? So Luffy's the chosen one. So many people are going to get mad over that. Really, dude? Another manga, another storyline where like the main character's like the chosen one? Celestial Dragon said Nika, please. Ha 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 ha. What's good, Will of Dreams? Okay, you got Loki hitting a Kamehameha. Yo, I bet Loki could destroy an entire island with a hyper beam like that. Shoots a hyper beam. Oh my, bro, what? Yo, I was just looking at the initial beam, the second to last page, where, I mean, it's literally just like a beam forwards. I flipped the page. Dude, that's like the size of Elbaf itself, that explosion. Oh my, yo. JJ, do you see how powerful this dude Loki is. Do you see this? Yo, Loki needs to be nerfed, bro. Can Luffy beat Loki? Yo, I might have to put Loki over Luffy. This is insanity. Got Luffy at the top left with a Tatasker. So that is it. The NIDHOGG. It was here. It was here all along. Oh, a quirk of fate. Yo, what a pretty cool chapter. Yo, pretty cool chapter. I don't feel like much happened. I feel like this was literally just like Loki like fighting a little bit. I mean, I don't really think that the story progressed much. I mean, I guess you get the confirmation that Loki has the NIDHOGG fruit, legendary fruit of Elbaf. But I don't know, bro. I don't think like there's much to say. This chapter didn't really give us enough information. Is there a break next week? I don't think there's a break next week. Okay, luckily there's no break next week because this chapter, I don't know, man. Why does it feel like, wait, this chapter was 12 pages? Oh no, it's not 12 pages. It's because some of the double pages were counted as one. Like, this feels like a cool, like, hype chapter. Like, if you were binge reading, if you were binge reading Elbaf, this would be like a pretty cool chapter to see. But like at the same time, it didn't really like hit the spot, you know. Loki is literally on a different plane of existence. There's no ranking him now. Yo, Loki needs his own tier. The summer stuff was overkill. I like him as a villain, but him about to kill the kids again was wasteful. Yo, Summers, literally, he enjoys harming children. You can't get any more dark than that. And Oda timed this in sync with the Epstein files. Yo, if anyone thinks Oda's not like aware of what's going on, dude, they live under a rock, man. Just like when Oda pushed through the you guys remember when Oda pushed through the idea that the Celestial Dragons, the Holy Knights, went to God Valley and they were having a hunting game on the natives? That was at the same time when there was reports that the IDF and Celestial Dragons were having hunting games on Palestinians. It was at the same time. Chat, I'm telling you, Oda's talking to us about the real world through this Japanese comic. No lie. Man, it's funny this chapter, like, it was hype. Like, there were a lot of sick moments. I think Loki's design is really cool, but it's just, there's always like that tinge of sadness when there's not much lore to discuss. Oda knows everything, Biswa. Which, by the way, chat, by the way, on page 11, Loki's attacking the monsters, right? Because on not page 11, but the second to last, it kind of looks like the monsters are running with Loki to attack. But the page after, it looks like Loki decimated them. Is it because of the angle? It kind of looks like the Jormungandr, the wolf, the skeleton. It kind of looks like they're charging together for an attack, but in reality, the monsters are running away from Loki. The God of War versus Nika was interesting lore. Yeah, actually, that's true. I don't know how that slipped my mind. We literally just read that. Yeah, we did get that lore. So interesting to know. Nika in his lore used to have bouts. He used to clash with a God of War. Which, by the way, guys, in the spoilers, it kind of made it seem like the person's name was Elbaf, but now when you read the chapter, it doesn't really It doesn't really seem like the God of War's name was Elbaf. In fact, it seems like that's not the case. It says in Elbaf, there's a legend about a God of War who fought with Ragnir. But you have to ask, like, why should we believe that that person's name is God of War or is Elbaf? Like, why should we be led to believe that the island is named after him? You know, like even though it's entirely possible, I don't see why it would be plausible. Not quite. It's just been protected by the Hammer Guardian Ragnir. In Elbaf, there's a legend about a God of War who fought with Ragnir. It is said that he took the form of a giant dragon and locked horns with the sun god. So funny, man. You see, chat, this is why we need to take the leakers and the spoilers with a grain of salt. We need to be very careful because, you know, we could have been continuing to push the fact that Elbaf is named after some warrior god, when in reality, you read the chapter yourself and it doesn't really seem like that's the case. There's no real inclination that this warrior god's name was Elbaf. So he's unnamed. I guess we just got to call him. Can we just call him GOW, God of War? How about, chat, when we refer to this guy, call him GOW for God of War? SL, welcome back, brother. God bless, man. Brooke let Emu rest this chapter so Loki could get his shine. Yeah. I think Oda just wants to continuously gas up Loki, but, you know, authors, whether in, you know, manga or movies or television shows, I'll let you in on a little secret. When authors gas up and make a character really awesome and beloved and stuff like that, they love to kill the character. Like that's like the unspoken rule. You want, when you kill off a character, you want it to be impactful. If a character sucks, it's not gonna, oftentimes it's not gonna be impactful. But if you kill off a character that people really love, because you know your audience, there's certain things that your audience enjoys in a character. When you kill that character off, who's loved by the audience, that's going to be a significant moment. That's going to generate a reaction out of the reader. So when we chat, I don't know, man, when we look at how Loki's been portrayed the past 30 chats, this arc, I think Loki's been portrayed like he's been over portrayed. Like he's too good. Like Loki is too great of a character in like every way, which gives me this vibe that Oda's gonna find a way to kill him. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Which would be crazy to me because, I mean, Loki seems like he's top one, man. Loki seems like he's stronger than Luffy. King J used to say that all the time. He used to say like, hey, man, I don't know about Luffy anymore. He might not be top one. You know, he might not be top 3. He might not be top 5. He might not be stronger than Loki. I was hesitant on that, maybe 10 chapters ago, 20 chapters ago, 30 chapters ago, a while ago when King J was saying this. I was hesitant. But the more and more that we see from Loki, it's starting to seem like Luffy might not even beat this guy. So if Loki were to join the crew, is Luffy not the strongest person in his own crew? Seems a little strange, unless you say that, no, well, Loki won't join the crew, or you say Loki somehow becomes weaker, or you say that Luffy will surpass Loki. But how is Luffy going to get any stronger? I mean, like, Gear 5 is his peak. Is he going to, like, turn into different objects and animals when he fights? It seems like there's no more room for Haki either. I mean, like, what more can Luffy do? I feel like, yo, honestly, this might be like a power creep kind of thing. I think Oda might have messed up. He might have made a mistake. How is Oda going to make Luffy stronger? There's no other thing that you could use. Like, what would it be? Like, the Conqueror's Haki is like more potent, like bigger punch. Luffy turns into different objects while he fights. He turns into different animals. Like, I don't know, man. I almost feel like Oda wrote himself into a corner with Luffy. Especially, like, that whole comment of, you know, this is my pinnacle or whatever. That Oda might have fumbled with that. Because now it's going to be hard to... I mean, Oda's not going to be able to give Luffy a new form, right? Can't do like a Gear 6, right? Like a Gear 0 or something. When you have Luffy literally say, this is my pinnacle. I believe they said Gear 5 amplifies your power of imagination, and I don't think Luffy has finally tapped into it yet. Yo, what's going on, J-Bro? Maybe Gear 6 is loading, bro. There's no way. He said this is my pinnacle. What was that even supposed to mean? That was his peak at that point. He didn't know any higher. Oh, come on, JJ. No, man. JJ, you can't wiggle your way out of this one. Luffy saying that it was his pinnacle. It was his. He was speaking in the moment like this is my new pinnacle. Man, don't do this to me, JJ. Don't do this, brother. My personal view is that they are equal, but that's only because I have my own idea on Luffy's current peak in terms of what we've seen from Luffy. Loki is stronger, but in terms of my belief, nah. Yo, Stan, God bless, bro. He most likely is until Luffy dies once or twice. Then he bounces back stronger, lol. Your peak is only your peak until you surpass it. What will we get first, GTA 6 or Gear 6? Bro, probably Gear 6. I'm not even going to lie. I guarantee you GTA 6 is going to get another delay, or they're going to get a delay. Did they get a delay? I guarantee you they will. In Jujutsu Kaisen, the main protagonist is not the most powerful. Some random white-haired dude is. Luffy can still improve multiple facets of Haki. He can still master Gear 5, and he can still improve his base stats, so there is plenty for him to grow. He will have Joy Boy level Haki. If I had my best game today, that doesn't mean I can have a better one tomorrow. Fine, JJ, you win. But I'm going to go reread that chapter, and I'm going to go read the context, the explicit context. How was it worded specifically? Was it a temporary in the moment kind of thing? Or was it like, yo, I can't go beyond Gear 5 kind of thing? Me and Evo playing GTA 6 when it comes out. Yo, maybe I'll touch GTA 6. I'm not very sure. But if I did, I wouldn't go into the strip clubs and stuff like that. I actually don't know if I would get GTA 6, man. I don't know. Oda always breaks rules, so no surprise. Man, don't pull that. I know why you're saying that, Viswa. Yo, B now, what's good, bro? God bless, man. How's it going, brother? Gear 5 snake form? Yo, come on. We need Gear 5 Tiger Man. You don't remember the Tiger Man theories? You don't remember Gear 5 Tiger Man. You're not an OG, bro. You're not a real one. The real ones remember Gear 5 Tiger Man. Luffy Gear 5 Tiger Man. If you don't remember that, you are not an OG. You are a youngin. You seem like a kind of guy that would kill every. Whoa, no, that wouldn't be me, dude. I definitely wouldn't run them over. That'd be very messed up. Back home after a month-long snowboarding trip, Mr. Streams. Yo, I'm glad you made it safe. I hope you had a good trip, man. I hope it was a lot of fun. Sounds fun. Snowboarding. In a month? Dude, that's a long trip. You were gone for a month? Bro, how did you have enough leave days from work? What job is giving you enough leave days for you to be gone for a month, bro? What about Luffy character will have you think he will say, I can't get any stronger than this? He always gonna get stronger. All right, what's Gear 6? I mean, Gear 5 is supposed to be, I don't even know how you would describe it. Like Luffy could turn into any other object. Luffy could turn into any object or animal he could think of. Although he hasn't done an animal yet, right? Chat, Luffy hasn't used Gear 5 to become an animal, right? He's only used Gear 5 to be an object. Can anyone confirm? Can anyone confirm? I don't think Luffy has used Gear 5 to be some type of animal form yet. I think he became like a baseball player. He became like a baseball bat. and Luffy used Gear 5 to have like a sniper rifle, right? Like he grabbed Thunder and then he had like a sniper crosshair. He used his hand as like a sniper crosshair. So I mean, I don't know, does that count? If anyone here is in Iran, or if you guys have any family or friends in Iran, chat, I do pray for their safety. I pray for your guys' safety. Everyone should pray for Iran. I know Iran has a lot of civilians there. I think Iran has, upwards to 90 million, 80, 85, 90 million civilians. Chat, I hope Iran's okay. I hope there's least amount of deaths possible. I think war is awful. War is terrible. I actually saw a post earlier already. Five Iranian children were killed by a U.S.-Israeli missile strike. 5 Iranian children. Right away, and it literally just began. Yeah, we pray for Israel's safety too. I'm not really down with anyone dying. I think that's pretty awful. Yeah, so literally right off the bat, you already have children dying. And we have this going on because Celestial Dragons love war and they want to dominate the red line. The Celestial Dragons want to dominate the red line, chat. And they're using Dressrosa to do it. Dressrosa is working with Marijoa to eradicate everyone on the red line. It's quite sad, chat. And you have Doflamingo. You have Doflamingo going on stage. Going on stage, cheering for this and supporting this. Yo, Vincent, where'd you go, man? I want to get you in the VC, dude. You have President Doflamingo getting on stage. We need to send the young American men. Send the Christians. Send the Christians to die in the Celestial Dragon Wars. We need to die for the Celestials. They're good people, great people. We need to go and die in these celestial wars for no reason other than to serve the synagogue of Satan. Right off the bat, instantly speaking like that, instantly defending it. Shameful, chat. Shameful. But their reign will come to an end, bro. The pro-Marijoa sentiment has been dying. For the first time in U.S. history, I saw this earlier, for the first time in U.S. history, pro-Marijoa sentiment has reached below 50%. We love to see this. Gear 6 is giving power to other people like Naruto. Are you talking about Bello Betty, dude? What's good?
Testing. 1, 2, 3. Can everyone hear me?
I can hear you, man.
Okay, sorry about that. I had some technical difficulties on my end.
It's all good, bro. I'm glad to have you here.
Glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh, man. So what are your thoughts on 1175, bro?
This chapter definitely was a banger. I do agree with you. It did not hold as much content as I would like, which I kind of expected since it seemed so action-packed at the beginning of the week. Like, all the information basically spun out the whole beginning of the week, when usually we usually get them spread out throughout the week.
So it was just kind of like all the discussion points, all the talking points were just gone right away.
Basically, this was more focused on the actual debut of Loki's devil fruit form. And this is still just his animal form. I'm more interested in his hybrid form. Like, I want to see how big he is with that.
Hybrid? You think he'd be taller, or do you think he'd be smaller?
Well, I mean, if the devil fruit's power is to make him basically colossal, then I would imagine that his giant form would be roughly, I mean, if I recall, someone said that he was taller than little Ors, so I would imagine him being bigger than that.
Oh no, I mean like yo, J Real.
What is he saying?
J-Real, I'm gonna pull you in, but your camera's on. If you want your camera on, it's okay, bro. I don't care. If you want it on or off, it's up to you, bro. If you want it on, you can keep it on. If you want it off, you can keep it off. It's up to you, bro.
Give me 1 second. Let me send a link to my friends.
All right, bro. Appreciate it. I'm sorry, Vincent. Sorry, I got sidetracked. What I mean was, or what I meant to say was, like, the hybrid form being smaller than the full dragon form, like taller than his human form, human, right, in quotations, but smaller than the dragon form.
I think it should be maybe, I guess, at the halfway point. Like, I guess when Kaido went hybrid, he was smaller than his full animal form. But I would imagine that it's on such a different level that it doesn't make a difference. It actually just keeps him probably keeps him the same size, but changes the shape. So in contrast, he'll look shorter, but he'll be the same height and size.
Hey, Loki's hybrid form would probably look really cool because I thought Kaido's hybrid form was sick. Remember when we finally got it? We waited so long. There was also that one chapter in Wano. You remember the rooftop chapter where we were finally getting the hybrid form next to he was standing next to Big Mom, and then it was a silhouette. And then there was a break like the week after that. We had to wait.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Bro, Loki hybrid form gonna break the internet, bro.
Bro, it's gonna be so cool. Yeah.
I'm waiting for my new thumbnail picture, so let it come soon.
Abigna says, why do you think social media algorithms don't block anti-celestial sentiment online anymore? Do you think it's a celestial plan to get the world against them before sacrificing the red heifer? what I would say is I believe the Celestial Dragons have tons of control, and that's like kind of the issue. That's what the problem is, right? But I don't believe they control literally everything. I don't believe like every single person ever is like paid out and bought for. I don't believe they can control every single site and every single post. And we even then we still do see a lot of censorship. Like you can't say a lot of things against them on a lot of different sites. And in fact, it would probably, I think it's helping them now that there is like less censorship against against Celestial Dragons when the bad faith actors, when the Zog bots are actively refuting it and quote unquote refuting it and defending the Celestial Dragons, going against it. When they allow the speech to happen, others can see the psychopathy behind it, the so-called psychopathy and the visceral hatred and blah blah blah, and see these normal guys go against it to make the normal guys look like heroes and to make it seem like it makes perfect sense. It's completely normal to be pro Celestial and pro Marijoa. But yeah, I don't think that they can control and censor every single post. I don't think that they're actually doing it to benefit them. I think that would actually be pretty backwards. I think that'd be like a 4D chess kind of move, and I haven't seen a sufficient answer for that. I think like this anti-Marijoa sentiment that the U.S. is finally having, this anti-Celestial sentiment the world's having, people are realizing this when people take control of the banks and the press and the agriculture and the factories and all these things taking over governments time and time again, and they're noticing this one characteristic over and over and over and over. To speak against that doesn't really seem to help them, and they'd rather just silence you and mock you and make you look bad and just shut you down. I don't think it's in their best interest to allow it to further some goal. I think it's literally just so many people are getting tired of it. We're coming up with all sorts of ways to talk about it that they actually can't stop. And I also think, sorry, this is going to be a long-winded explanation. I also think the Celestial Dragons, right? Quote unquote Celestials, right? I think that these guys are too complacent. They've been eating their cheese pizza. They've been drinking their grape soda. They've been walking their beef jerky. They've been hanging out with Epstein. They've been drinking adrenochrome, doing all of these demonic things. They've been living like perverts. They've been getting too complacent because that's like they hardly had to put any effort in. You got to think the people that came before me, right? Before the millennials were the boomers. The boomers literally grew up. Their whole entire worldview is mainstream media. Literally, the Celestial Dragons had the easiest goings. Like after the Great Void Century, where 6 Gorillion Celestials supposedly died, dude, the generation right after gave them the easiest time. So all in all, Celestial Dragons got complacent, and now they got too lazy, and the tide is going against them, and they're trying to scramble and fix this. But in the end, they're done, bro. I think the sentiment is definitely against them. They can't stop everything. They can't stop everyone. They can't control everyone. You even have people on the left speaking viscerally against the Celestials. Hope that answers the question.
I got a question for the chat and for us on the speaker. What do you expect to happen in the next chapter? What are your predictions for the next chapter? Or what do you want to see in the next chapter?
I want to see Celestial Dragons get kicked out of Marijoa 110, baby.
I want to see Loki fly all the way to Marijoa, find Charlos, and finally put an end to that little bastard.
Do you think Shamrock leaving Elbath gonna hurt the God Knights in this arc?
Wait, it would hurt the God Knights. Why would it hurt the God Knights?
Because Shamrock is the strongest of all of them, and he's leaving. He left already.
Oh,
Like,
bro. I understand when you said Shamrock. I understood it as Loki for some reason. Okay, no,
Or
yeah. I mean, I would say yeah. I mean, it doesn't help them that he left, right?
Yeah. They do got emo on site, but
It's good SL.
Yo,
what up, L? Like the hair. Pause. Bit pause.
what's up, White Jesus?
a little
Look,
bit. Well, it's not too cold actually this morning, but
Where you
if
at? If you don't
Loki,
mind me asking.
East Coast.
Oh, the East Coast.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
wait, isn't he in Florida? Aren't
No,
you in Florida,
I wasn't a lot like when I was at one point in my life, but not right now. I'm I'm back in
bro?
Virginia, man.
You look like Bones now. You know the rapper Bones,
Nah, I don't know.
bro. Look up the rapper Bones. I'm not even like the underground rapper.
All right.
Anyways, look, I know this wasn't your question, but I think Loki, like, if because some people are saying that Loki would join the Straw Hat Crew. I think that would severely harm Elbaf. Actually, like we see that the world government has a vested interest in hijacking the nation of Elbaf and co-opting ancient giants, right, to further the world government's agenda, make themselves stronger. If they don't have someone like Loki to defend it, that's actually tragic. That would be like Yamato leaving Wano. Because let's be real, if Yamato left Wano, they're kind of cooked, bro. So if
Okay.
Loki leaves Elbaf, like they'd be cooked as well. But I know that wasn't your question at all. But I just wanted to like talk about that.
Let me talk about that too. Loki not gonna join the crew, but he still is gonna join the crew at the same time. Let me explain what I'm saying, right? So Loki not gonna join the crew. He not gonna be on their ship, but he gonna join the Grand Fleet. He gonna take over as the new leader of the new Giant Pirates, and the new Giant Pirates already declared free for the Straw Hats. So he gonna join the crew, but not really. And he not gonna be with them 24/7, but he gonna still gonna be part of the crew. If you see what I'm saying?
Uh, wait. So do you mean the Grand Fleet? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, the Grand Fleet. Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's joining the crew in a sense.
yeah.
I actually
Uh,
do believe that he will join the crew. I think he has too much of a personal score to settle with Emu to just sit on Elbaf.
But
Like
I don't think Loki want to be under somebody. He want to be his own leader, his own captain. That's why he gonna join the new Giant
he wanted
Pirates.
to be under Zebek. What do you mean, boy?
So Beck is him.
he,
So Beck is him, and he will
Okay,
look
but
good.
wait. Luffy's him. Luffy's him, and Loki's gonna look at Luffy, be like, "Yo, you're the sun. You're the actual sun god, not this bozo road. It's you, Luffy. All right, I'm down."
But you do gotta understand that Loki was like a little child back then when he want to
There's,
join the back.
he
sorry,
was
there's
like in
some
his
shit
20s
walking
at
their
that
dog.
time. I mean, yes, he's technically a kid, but still, he was a grown adult at the time.
This dog was like running at me, like some kids walking their dog. It's funny. I don't even know.
Yeah, this
This
is
dog's like "Arr, arr, arr,"
on.
like the tiniest little dog, bro, just like trying to run at me, barking and
Bro,
stuff.
everybody got the camera on back. I turned my camera on. Fuck it.
Yo, don't let this dude SL get bit by a dog live on stream.
Everybody got the camera on. I turned my camera on.
Sounded like a
It's a
small
tiny
dog
little
too.
dog, bro. It's a little.
Bro's gonna get attacked by a chihuahua.
It's not
Just a
even a
little
chihuahua. I don't
Chorky,
know what
no,
it is.
not
It's
an
like
issue.
something tiny though. It's like about the same size. I don't even know what it is. That
Pomeranian.
breed,
It's probably a
maybe.
Chorky.
I don't know the breeds that well, so I wouldn't be the one to ask. But I was gonna say like what I was saying, or to finish what I was saying earlier about Loki, because it's harder to explain. I feel like I feel like what we've seen or all the betrayal from Loki makes him look stronger than Luffy. But I think like narratively, kind of like what you said a long time ago too, was that Luffy should be stronger than Loki. At this point, it's gotten to the point where I have them equal though, just because it's so crazy. But I do think, but I'm only counting it as like my idea of like Luffy's true peak currently that Oda hasn't shown. So like if we went off like what we've seen so far, Loki should be above Luffy. But if we went off of like if I'm going off of what I think, Luffy's true full power is currently, then I would have them equal. That's basically how I look at it. But my view on like what his full capacity is like basically him using giant form, but then in giant form he's using the coiled attacks, like the Gear 4 attacks where he's coiling his arms and stuff. So kind of like using Gear 4 in a way inside of the giant form, and then using all of his hockey combined with you know like the flames and all that, and maybe muscle balloon on top of that, and just basically him spamming, like him doing that consecutively, kind of like Gear 2 versus Bluno, where he was just spamming attacks. Basically, him in Gear 5 giant form with coiled attacks with all his power ups, just spamming on somebody. That's what I view as his current peak. Like if he does that to somebody, who's dealing with that? Like, be honest, like who's dealing with that? Not very like very few people can even handle that in any way. So that's kind
So
of what I.
like Blackbeard, right? Blackbeard could probably tank that, or at least push Luffy to the edge. So my question would be like, if that doesn't work right against Blackbeard or Emu, what's Luffy gonna do?
Well, my thing with Blackbeard would be like, based on what we've seen, he doesn't look that good because obviously he was like struggling with Law while having his commanders and stuff. But I will say, like, I think Blackbeard's going to get several times stronger. So I think he's still growing, just like Luffy's still growing. So I actually would, at this current moment, I would actually have Luffy a little bit ahead of Blackbeard, but he will surpass Luffy at some point. That's what I kind of think. But yeah,
Do y'all think we get another train arc after
because there's no
Elbaf?
way Luffy's like taking all those hits from Law. Like Luffy's soloing Law and his crew with way easier. Like just being honest.
I
But
think
I think he might have like a hidden thing that he hasn't showcased. Blackbeard, I mean, like some type of hidden power or
Luffy
something
doesn't.
that we haven't seen on
Luffy
screen that he
doesn't
hasn't
really
been
show.
pushed to use.
Luffy
What's
doesn't
up?
really show rage that often. Maybe that's the trigger to this final Gear 6. Maybe he's just so filled with so much anger that it just awakens the god of destruction that we keep hearing about. That is also Nika.
What if we also got like a reverse gear? Like gear
A
reverse or
burst
something?
gear? Oh, reverse. I thought you said a
Like a
burst.
car,
I
like,
remember gear reverse.
yeah.
People used to say like, how in a car they have the first gear, the second gear.
Yeah.
So just negative one
Gear
gear,
neutral.
and that's just when he goes pitch
Yeah.
black.
Bro goes into neutral gear. Hold on. Gabriel asked, do we do a I'm sorry, I'm retarded. Sorry,
No, you're
I
just
can't say that
tired.
word. I'm tired and regarded. I'm regarded, okay, that's what I said.
We're started.
We're started.
Guitar, but not acoustic.
Gabriel asked if we believe that there's going to be a training arc after after Elbaf. I personally don't, because like when we look at the state of affairs, we have the Straw Hats with 3 road poneglyphs, not including a possible one on Wano. I keep saying Wano, I mean Elbaf. And then you also have Cross Guild and Blackbeard making moves towards collecting poneglyphs as well. I don't think there's enough time to have a training arc. Unless it's like, what, for a week? But like, I don't know how much the Straw Hats can learn in a week.
Well, you know
that
what?
depends on how time works on Elbaf. Because remember, it's distorted there. So it could be like the hyperbolic time chamber. 1 week there is equivalent to like 7 years in the regular world.
Oh,
I'll
then
say
that's
this
even
much.
worse for a training arc.
Yeah. So if they're there for like 3 days, they could be there for like 3 years, and by that time they'd be getting ready for the next hunt, which should be coming up soon.
Oh, wait, that's true. I didn't even think about that.
I'd say like a quick train arc, like probably like for like 3 to 6 months.
Well, Oda did say like after this arc, they're supposed to be running into the man marked by flames, which was my prediction in early Elbaf. I said the
When
next
did he
arc
say
should
that?
be. He wrote that letter and he was like, talking about the live action, the anime, the movie that he's trying to do, and like giving kind of like current update or whatever. And he was like basically saying like Elbaf is gonna speed up real quick. I forget, it was like the last note that released, whatever that little letter was. I'd have
That
to
would
look
have
and
been
see
good.
what he exactly said because I don't remember. But he was
I think
basically saying like Elbaf's
on
gonna speed
Shonen
up,
Jump.
things are gonna go crazy. So people are pretty much expecting Elbaf to end like by the end of this year. Some people. So just be based off of that letter, maybe the early next year or something.
It was
So
the
Like that,
letter
someone's hitting
during
the wrap it
Shonen
up
Jump.
button on Oda.
It was the
yeah,
letter
he's
during
like
Shonen Jump.
he said it's gonna everything's gonna move at a lightning pace or whatever and stuff
That
like
was
that.
obviously a
Oda's
joke to
been saying
Loki.
But I mean, he did kind of like speed through some things. Like, I mean, most people we all expected that Zebek fight to be longer, Zebek versus Roger and Garp, but he kind of sped through that,
Yeah, I
which
was
wasn't
expecting
that
like
satisfying.
5 more
I would
chapters
say
for
for
the
me, the
flashback.
biggest disappointment of God Valley was just like I wanted to see more from Rayleigh and Gabon. I wanted them to get a good fight. Like I wanted Rayleigh to fight Shiki or something. Even though he had like the whole Shaki thing or whatever, it's like I would have rather just him fought Shiki than that. In all honesty, like bro, come on, man.
Rayleigh should have fought Silver Axe.
Like it's
Silver's
crazy.
Rayleigh versus Silver X Kyo
Exactly. Rayleigh uses
He
the
could have
blade.
done that.
and Golden X Gabon versus
That would have
Golden
still been
Lion
better than
Shiki.
just him beating up on Somers.
Exactly, Vincent. I didn't even think of any of that, but exactly.
I mean,
Yeah.
Gabon and Shiki are basically polar opposites. Both look exactly the same. We confused them to be the same person for like years.
At this point, Somers is just getting passed around, bro. Like I'm not gonna lie, he got hit up by
Summers is
Rayleigh,
already dead.
Gabon,
Like you saw him.
Luffy.
He's over
He got
there,
hit by
over there, and
Loki's
over there,
claw.
and up there.
Like you saw, like Loki claw. You saw he stomped on him too. Like Loki stomped on him. Like this dude's just getting. And then Sanji's still gonna come in. Like I already know Oda's still waiting to use Sanji. He's gonna come in, hit him with the black flame to the head or something. Like bro,
Diablo
Meanwhile-
Jump.
he's just getting
Meanwhile,
passed.
Usopp's over there, just yeah, we did it.
Yeah, Usopp's just a cheerleader, dude. Usopp's the
I
cheerleader.
know. Oh
What
my
the
god.
hell?
I know, dude.
Yo, Jabro, I know Usopp's your favorite character.
You already know who's my favorite character is.
Bro,
Yep.
You see this clearly. This is how many chapters have gone through Elbaf. This is Usopp's arc. This is how many we have left.
I gotta full screen you. Look at that. Look at that, chat. Usopp,
If this
Elbaf,
is Usopp's arc,
Usopp's
how
arc.
come all of this is gone?
Look at this, chat. Look at the screen. Read it and weep. Bro has amounted to nothing. Just wait for Elbaf. Dude, you know what's funny? That's what everyone actually said, though. They did actually say just wait for Elbaf. I even said that.
I know. That's
All
true.
said it.
Yeah, no, like and that always like
This
bothered
is the
me.
furthest
Like
thing from his arc.
that always bothered me though, because I was always like, why are we having to wait that long for Usopp to do something? Like he did nothing before Dressrosa. He did nothing since Dressrosa. Most of post skip has been him doing literally nothing. Like Dressrosa was the
I can't
only
hear
thing
him.
he
What's
had
he
the
saying?
whole freaking post
Yo,
time skip.
Bro,
Like
the
that's
streets,
crazy, dude. What is
you
going
know,
on?
the streets are saying Usopp peaked at Water 7, bro.
Yeah, I mean that's
I
true.
think
Like
Usopp
honestly,
need a new gun.
Usopp versus Luffy was like the peak for Usopp's whole character arc. Like
Dude,
literally,
that was more than half the story ago.
I know it's forever ago, dude. Like
I
that,
think he peaked at Syrup Village when he stood up to the
That's true.
Catman.
like freaking 17, 18 years ago or something. Like,
Yo, peaked at Syrup Village is devious.
bruh.
Bro,
The live action version of
production.
Usopp was more relevant than anime Usopp.
Nah,
Me
Usopp
personally,
peaked at Kuro, bro.
I think Usopp need a gun.
Dude, I was asking people yesterday. I was like, how far does current
Done.
Usopp get in pre-time skip, like villains? Because I don't see how he's getting past Crocodile. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
I
how's he
can't
getting?
hear what SL
Maybe.
is saying.
Oh, really?
Oh, no. Are you glitched, Vincent?
Maybe
Oh,
Let me
you guys can hear me
refresh.
though, but he can't.
I can hear you.
Oh,
I can
okay.
hear you. I can hear you. You perfect fine on my end.
Yo, Jabril, Usopp's, is it Kana? It's not Kanabo. Kabuto. It's basically a gun. Isn't it basically
I'm
a gun? Welcome back.
Isn't it
Usopp's
like?
it's a gun.
Didn't he? I don't even know. Maybe it can because it can like morph, can't it? I don't even know.
What is
Wait.
it now?
Usopp's Kabuto, the slingshot. It's a projectile weapon. It's basically a gun.
I would say that's like a staff that has a slingshot attached to it.
He just needs like more attack power, you know, like he just has no attack power at all.
On it, bro.
Yeah, sniper
Usopp
rifle.
needs
And
more
he-
durability.
Yeah,
Actually,
I mean,
Usopp
his
had his-
build's not too bad. I mean, he took like ultis, attack to the head and stuff, you know.
yeah, exactly. Like he had his skull crack, but you know what I mean. Like he needs more. Like
He just needs to be able to use observation hockey at will, and he needs more attack power. Those are the two things he needs more than anything else. But for some reason, Oda just had him use hockey one time, and then just scrapped it all, like just ripped it right back out of his hands. Like, no, you don't get this shit. Like, bro, like that's how I feel, bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie. He's like just
Hey,
ripped it right back out.
Usopp also needs balls.
Hey, are
I
you
think
talking
Oda
right
just
now?
did the same thing
If
with
you is, I can't hear
Sanji,
you.
because if we
You can't hear
recall,
me?
Oda said that-
I can't. Can I hear Eddie talking right now?
Yo,
Might
can
have
you
to,
hear?
like join or something.
Can you guys hear me?
I'll be right back.
Sounds like you're glitched.
Wait. It's me.
Really?
Can you hear me now?
He might have left and rejoined.
All right, hello. Refresh.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
Oh no.
I guess he refreshed. Rip.
All right, this has been happening since last week, actually.
There we go.
All right, hello.
Yep.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
This is. I hear you guys now. This has been happening since last week. Remember, Vincent? We haven't been able to like hear each other. Have to reconnect. Usopp also needs a pair of balls because his fear for everything. I don't think it's helping him.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's the thing. The thing that's craziest to me is like people are like, he's gonna get Ragnar, and it's like, bro, Ragnar already chose somebody. It's too late. And then on top of that, they're like, he's gonna get Conqueror's Haki, and I'm like, bro, when have we seen a Conqueror's Haki user that acts like Usopp, bro? Like, be real, come on.
The way I can see Usopp getting Thor, Ragnar, is if Loki dies.
I mean, I guess that's a possibility.
I don't see him getting.
Well, why? How would he even use it? It's too big. Like, bro, how would he even use it?
You know the cop out
reader. The owl will shrink.
Yeah, or that. Like, there was an SBS question. Reader asked Oda, how come Odin's swords, Odin was much bigger than Zoro, shrunk when it went to Zoro, and Oda's like, oh, ignore it. That's the only thing I could really think of.
Just because why not?
Because why not? Yeah, and apparently, like King Jay was talking about this the other day. Oda has given like several different heights for who was it? Zunisha, was it?
Yeah, true.
Oda messed up with Zunisha's height. So, you know, when it comes to the sizing in One Piece, I don't know, man.
I mean, is Loki taller than Zunisha?
Didn't they change the height like 3 times or something on Zunisha? Like, I don't even know.
Yeah, man. Oda's known for lying about size. I wonder if he's applied that to other things. Anyways, where did J-Bro go?
One Piece is just one. It's just one big compensation problem.
Anyway, that was
Now I can't hear you.
No, why is it glitching, man? Why is it glitching, man?
Oh my god.
This was not the day for a stream.
I know, right? Can you hear me now?
See, like actually, I'm not going to mention that person's name on here. Never mind.
Oh, I know who it is. EO.
Yeah. Oh no, JE.
You can mention that name.
They said it was like some picture where it had him with like longer hair and glasses, and they're like, "We found Somers. He's in the Holy Land. He's still alive." He kind of looks like him though. That's
Wait,
funny.
wait.
Who
Actually,
now?
think about
He
that.
kind of looks like Sommers, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah, I know the picture you're referring to. I hear you, Vincent.
Who are we talking about?
Yo, Epstein.
Ah,
The picture where they apparently caught him in Israel with the long hair and beard. I didn't realize he looked like Summers in that.
And
Oh, you can't find it. Epstein in Israel.
I have it somewhere. I could
Google
get
images,
it
bro.
later in Discord.
Yo,
I
they
find
took
it.
multiple images.
Oh my god.
they didn't want to make the comparison.
No
They didn't
way.
want us-
The picture
They
where they
didn't want us to
supposedly
connect the
caught him.
dots.
The picture where they supposedly caught him in Israel is not on Google Images anymore. That's insane. Which, by the way, take a wild guess. Who owns Google?
I don't know Google, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I hate
The
Google.
chlorophores.
This one, St. Summers is caught in Israel.
Yeah.
Always,
Yo, that's
always
literally St. Summers. Bro, I have 1175 open right here. That's literally Summers.
Maybe
What?
that was maybe it was Oda's inspiration.
Oda knew before it leaked out to the public.
True.
Saint Summer Epstein.
Dude, I mean it does seem like it is crazy though. Just like I mean how Oda added like that whole plot line of like them trying to take the kids and everything in Elbaf. Like,
At the same time, I'm telling you, this is on purpose. Oda wants people to read One Piece and take something away from it, apply it to the real world. I mean, like, just look at the Gorosei and Emu. Is it not obvious Oda wanted a secret society in One Piece, like the Illuminati, like one world government?
The Gorosei, like Saint Rockefeller, Saint Rothschild, bro, like the royal families, bro. We know who it is.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it couldn't be any more obvious. And I mean, like, even just with the fact that Oda adds things like Yggdrasil and Jormungandr, like these things, Oda didn't make up those words. Those words come from the real world. So, like, it's already kind of like, you can't really refute it, like the fact Oda literally wrote Hanumanji for Luffy, like, Oda's taking the real world and applying it to One Piece. So with that being said, who's to say he's not applying like certain wars in the real world to One Piece, or like certain, I don't know, people and applying it to One Piece, certain events applying it to One Piece?
That's another good point too, because that was something interesting about now that with like the confirmation of like Loki having the Nidhogg fruit and the dragon on top of the tree potentially most likely being the Nidhogg way back in the past, and he's fighting with the World Serpent, and in the North lore Thor fights with the World Serpent, and Loki is like a symbology of Thor. Ragnir is like a combination of Ragnarok with Mjolnir. So it's like Loki fighting the World Serpent, or the Nidhogg in the past fighting the World Serpent, possibly Loki fighting the modern day World Serpent. Who knows? I mean, but there's something there.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how the World Serpent plays out in One Piece. I actually don't know.
Like, is it dead, or is it like converted into a devil fruit, or what? That's another
Maybe
interesting
Emu
thing
is the Serpent of Hellfire.
because of the Ratatoskr, the squirrel. So it was like allegedly the squirrel just inhabited the hammer, but somehow it already had ice powers. So, but again, that was back when Nika was alive. So that's like probably before the devil fruits were created. So I kind of see it as like the concept of a devil fruit, but not an actual devil fruit. Kind of like the origins of probably similar to where the actual devil fruits came from, like a similar aspect or concept, but not actually a devil fruit itself. That's kind of how I look at it, because it was so long ago, like, it's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, this is completely off topic, but I wanted to ask you both, with the term celestial dragons, the way that they use or have the kanji for dragons, is it supposed to be Western dragons or Eastern dragons? Do you guys know?
I don't know.
Like the terminology of dragons?
You'd have to look into that, I guess. I wouldn't know that. Yeah.
When it comes to kanji, there's like two different dragons depending on how you write it. But when you render it into English, it just comes out as dragon. But one way of writing it is supposed to be Western dragons, like the big wings, like what Loki
Yeah,
is.
Western dragons
Yeah.
is like the Loki's type of dragon.
Yeah, the
And then
Eastern
the
dragons are
Eastern is like
like the
the
Shinron
Kaido,
looking
like the
ones.
Chinese version.
Yeah, so when I ask about the world noble celestial dragons, what type is that? I think it's supposed to be Loki's, actually, like the Western dragons.
Yeah.
But I don't remember.
I would probably say maybe Eastern, because if you remember at the Ryugu Kingdom, they had an Eastern dragon at their palace. And Kaido
definitely
is an
gonna-
Eastern dragon.
Yeah.
Hmm.
We're definitely going to get a lot more dragon lore in the future because like they have way more of a kind of a trace of history in the One Piece world. Like the celestial dragons copied them for their insignia and everything, like the claw, and we have them like basically getting wiped out throughout history. Like they probably lived on top of the red line or something and just got like wiped out. Like
And if
who
you
knows
think
that-
about it, the Serpent of Hellfire could be a large Eastern dragon.
Maybe. I mean, it doesn't seem to have like traditional wings, you know.
all I know is dragon stocks up. Nah.
The Serpent of Hellfire. Do you mean like the big snake thing on the right?
Yeah, what if it's not a snake? What if it's actually a dragon?
Yeah, serpent. I mean, because the Eastern dragons are supposed to be serpentine-like, right?
Yeah, and I believe
Yeah.
in Chinese lore, the Eastern dragons are supposed to symbolize like royalty and like a divine invention. Like they're the pinnacle of everything, and they're opposing a tiger, which is supposed to mean rebellious and free and like free will. I think that's how it's supposed to go.
Which is funny because, like, Dragon, who's the revolutionary leading the rebellion, he's Dragon. Like, but it defines him as like the rebellious serpent dragon or whatever. Something
Well,
like that.
actually, when I was looking into this, right, I thought to go examine Dragon because his name's literally Dragon. But if I'll pull this up just to double check. But with Dragon, I think it's actually written like phonetically. It's written like in the katakana, like it's Oda writes it as like, I don't even know how to like explain this, but he writes it as Dragon. It's not like he doesn't use like a.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
like he's like purposefully hiding it. But the interesting thing here, SL, when you look at the revolutionary flag, it has the wings like a Western dragon.
Right. With like yeah. Well, another thing too, actually, Mihawk has dragon symbolism as well because Dracula Mihawk, which was known as like Count Dracula the dragon. So it's like he also has his own little tie-ins as well. Potentially, like who knows if Oda's going to do anything with it, but
It could just mean that his sword's devil fruit is a dragon.
Which, by the way, Vincent was right. Celestial dragon, the kanji for dragon in that phrase specifically is Eastern. So Kaido has it, but then the Western is like was in the hands of the people of Elbaf. Quite
So-
interesting.
Kaido confirmed on the island. Okay, I see. Kaido confirmed. I'm joking.
He could. Hey,
Kaido's
wait.
epic return.
Was on the island though. Kaido was on the island though.
Was he?
Yeah. Hey, you saw Kaido on the island. Roger was on that island. Garp was on that island. Come on.
Sure.
Oh no, Garp. No wonder they blackmailed Garp the whole time. No wonder he was a Marine. They were blackmailing Garp. Bro was on the island.
Dang.
Okay, but in all seriousness, when I think about like the dragons in One Piece, I think this is a very fascinating thing because we now know that at least it's heavily implied that NIDHOGG as a mythical dragon is going to be Western, like a Westernized dragon, but it was always kept in Elbaf, and apparently the God of War even used it. So even up to the point where the Sun God was fighting, this god of war who was like this Western dragon in ancient times. So when I think of like Western dragons in One Piece, I'm not thinking about Elbaf. But then on the other hand, you have Eastern dragons, at least as fruits. We think of Kaido and Wano, but Kaido didn't get the fruit from Wano. Kaido got the fruit from God Valley. You know, so that kind of like muddies the waters a little bit. But then you think about Ryuma. Ryuma slayed a dragon. But I also don't remember, was that a Western dragon or Eastern dragon? I think Dawn and Dusk has a video explaining which one it is, but I'm thinking about like what regions and cultures of One Piece, you know, had like this relationship with Eastern dragons, and which culture and region in One Piece had the relationship with Western dragons. It seems like Western dragons is something like Elbaf, which it's kind of interesting because Luffy, or I mean, the original Nika, or at least the past Nika, was wrestling with the Elbaf dragon. Was that a friendly kind of thing? Was that an enemy kind of thing? You get what like this whole like, rabbit hole I'm kind of thinking about. What do you guys think about that? Because the celestial dragons, then they name themselves dragons. So like there's something important here.
I feel like the dragons used to inhabit the red line somewhat. I think like the dragon being on top of the tree, I think that was the Eve tree, because like I've told you before, like you've seen my theory stuff. So it's like, and then Emu was talking about NIDHOGG, you were here the whole time, and it's like we see that figure that looks like Emu with a crown, like approaching the Eve tree. So maybe at one point in the past, the NIDHOGG used to be at the Eve tree for some reason. And again, like I think the environment has changed over the course of history. Like the world has reshaped because of the continents getting pulled away, getting fragmented, getting drowned. All that stuff has happened. So the geography of the world has shifted. So who knows how many ways this could have happened, but that would be kind of what I think is like potentially Emu set up shop at the Eve tree. Like that's where they live. They set up, you know, Mary Joie at the Eve tree. And I 100% believe the reveal is eventually going to come where we're going to see Emu in the garden and we're going to see the Eve treetop be given a title. And then it's going to show the Eve treetop right there in the garden because there's nowhere else it could be. Like it goes right through, it grows through the red line. Under it is Fishman Island, below Mary Joie. So there's no doubt that the Eve treetop's in the garden, the flower garden. I have no doubt. It's also possible that Emu has a symbiotic relationship with the tree. Like, and that could play out so many different ways. Like maybe that's part of how their abilities work. There's even a possibility that they like store the consciousness of like all the people with the seals in the tree somewhere, like in the branches. Like what if their consciousness is just like stored there and then they can just swap bodies or whatever? Like who knows? There's so many possibilities.
There's a lot I want to say to that, but I want to hear Vincent's thoughts.
All right.
Okay, the idea about Emu keeping their consciousness in the tree is an interesting factor, but think about this. We saw Yonko fight Emu when she heard Brooke's voice. So maybe that might not be the case, but it is still an interesting fact. And I kind of was spacing out on the rest of that. Was getting something else on inside the house, so I apologize for that. So I didn't hear the whole thing.
He was just asking about what do you think about the significance of the dragons and like the Celestials took their insignia and stuff, or used them as their insignia, that kind of thing. Like what's the symbolic there, or like what's the history there for why they did that kind of thing?
Well, I believe in many different lores. There are several crests that are...
No, nothing. I said somebody's smoking somewhere near me because it's coming over here. But that's neither here nor there. Go ahead, continue.
Anyway, I was just going to say that there are like many different ways to symbolize what the dragon truly means. It's like It's the same as the sun or deities. They could be there's many different ways to describe of how they could be interpreted. Some could mean freedom, others could mean destruction. Some could mean royalties, some could mean rebellion. And Eastern and Western are basically the same ways. One is based. They're both dragon. The differences of who is in charge of said royalty. Makes any sense, but just my opinion.
Yeah, kind of a royal symbology, but it's also, I don't know. I could also just see it as them kind of just hijacking like the dragons, because they basically took over where they used to live, and possibly that was like something to do with the past royalty before they took over, because we know like before the world government formed, like there was the ancient kingdom and everything else that was going on. They didn't used to be the top dogs, so it was like they formed that alliance with the kingdoms, and then they took over. Somehow they ended up in being in power. However the events played out, they ended up being the ones in power. So they probably just like hijacked it from whoever was like they wiped out the Lunarians and stuff. Like they even have bounties out for them, the ones that are surviving. Like they're trying to like finish them off. You know what I mean? So I think the Lunarians used to live on the Red Line, and so, well, we know they did, but I think like they used to live on the Eve tree.
If that would be the case, then maybe.
Actually,
into this, then maybe we don't need to. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Go continue.
I was just going to say that maybe we shouldn't be looking at this from a dragon perspective. Then maybe we should look at it like another thing that was also taken over, like how the Native Americans had their land taken by British invaders, and how they became like their new culture, and how like there's two different versions of like Indian now. Like there's the Native American Indian, and then there's the Indians that believe in Hinduism.
Yeah.
Well, so that's like basically two different pantheons right there of religions.
Separate
things.
No, it's good. I wanted to add, it's interesting that you guys mentioned like the Sunlight Tree Eve being there where Marijoa is. I've always I think we all kind of understood that facts, but I never put it into perspective when we consider like how SL said the Lunarians were living on top of the Red Line, probably at where the tree was. I always figured that like, okay, they lived on the Red Line, and then I know like Marijoa is built there specifically where the tree is, but I never really put two and two together. But it had me thinking even further right now. Not only should we envision the Lunarians living on top of the Red Line with the tree in that spot, but we also know that Whitebeard and Marco claims that the land was a kingdom of the gods. And the way that the kanji makes it seem like the kingdom was a legitimate kingdom, like with a monarchy. Like you got a king, you have a queen, you have a prince, stuff like that. So, and like kingdom of the gods, maybe there was some kind of religion involved as well when you have someone like the sun god who is worshipped by people. So, when you put this into perspective, it's a bunch of Lunarians, these guys with wings and fire abilities that can't be explained, worshiping a sun god at a super special religious tree. And then I was also talking about like people being in the tree in some capacity, whether it's their conscious or their soul or whatever. I think the obvious connection would be from Nolan's flashback. You had the white trees or whatever. They believe that souls were trees, so that could be a foreshadow, like a foretelling what other people believe. They also believe the same thing, but with a different tree. We see these things even in real life, these very similar beliefs being expressed in like ways that are just slightly different from each other. So I wouldn't be surprised if Oda's implementing that as well. You got all these civilizations, all these islands, all these groups of people in One Piece believing in all these things, slightly different from each other. But is there a reason why these things are very similar to each other? Is it because they all have one root cause? Do they all come from one civilization? Is there like one catalyst that created all these cultures in these religions? and these ideas. I think that's probably what Oda's building up here towards. This ancient kingdom, Sun God Nika, Joy Boy. This was the catalyst. He's been silenced and erased. The island's been destroyed. The kingdom has been destroyed, but it's managed to spread out everywhere. You can see the remnants everywhere, and it's hard to exterminate all of it.
And you know, it's also possible that the Lunarians cohabited with the dragons, like on the Red Line and on the Eve Tree and stuff. Like they might have even like ridden around on them. Like who knows? Like some Avatar type stuff or some like whatever type stuff. Like
which if Nika was a Lunarian, which would make sense because maybe Nidhogg was Nika's pet 900 years ago.
Possible.
Oh,
and it's also possible like
Nidhogg was Nika's chopper, and what's his name? Emmet is Nika's Frankie.
You know something else though? King Albert, the Lunarian, has a tattoo of a tree branch on his face.
Oh,
and exactly, and it looks exactly like the tree branches in the mural if you look at it. That's why I tied it in my theory long ago when the mural first came out. I made that whole theory, the Eve tree being the origin of the devil fruits, and I thought that, and I had like basically in my theory, it's like Jaya used to be near the Holy Land, because remember, we know that the geography has shifted. We know that continents were pulled. Like we have the lore about the continent pullers, which probably one of them was the Onigashima giant, because that guy's freaking insanely huge. Like his head is bigger than Loki. Like just his head alone is bigger than Loki's dragon form. So whatever, that dude was freaking massive. But either way, it's like we know the continents have been pulled away. We know continents have been fragmented and like drowned in the ocean. All kinds of stuff has occurred. So I think that Jaya was pulled away and used to be near. I think it used to be like, I think the Skypians and stuff used to kind of live around the Lunarians. And then basically that got pulled away. And then like in the past, they were near the Eve tree. So the Belfry, the lore about the Belfry guiding their souls was like guiding their souls into the trees near there so that they wouldn't go into the Eve tree and like join into that and then be used in a ritual and basically turned into devil fruits. Because I pretty much just think like their spirits or souls or whatever were turned into devil fruits, and that's why there's the lore like they're demons, but like they're actually like people that lived way in the past, and somehow they like morphed and fused, and somehow or another. Basically, I think that part of it was maybe the One Piece, or like the eternal flame was probably like the missing ingredient to how they were able to create the devil fruits, because we know that nothing else has been created in so long. Like we have no proof of any devil fruits being created in the last few hundred years. Like there's no statements, there's nothing. So somehow the creation stopped happening. So it's not as simple as like they just imagine the fruits, like Vegapunk's theory or whatever. That's obviously a like very limited theory. Like he doesn't have all the extra elements of what happened. But that's basically what I think is like it came from the Eve tree, and somehow or another their dreams or desires maybe were a factor, like their actual will, or you know, maybe like his theory does play into it, like where that was a part of the ingredients needed to create it. But basically I think it had to do with the Eve tree ultimately absorbing them. And
I want to point out really quick right before Vincent, you mentioned that King has the tattoo of like the kind of leaf branch thing on his face, connecting them to trees, which would make sense in the grand scheme of the Lunarian discussion we're having. But when we first got the name Arbor for King, I remember people talking about that the name it's related to trees, like the word arbor or arbor. So there's a connection to trees for some reason, but he doesn't have a forest fruit or something. So like why is there this connection to trees? And it makes a lot of sense when you put it into perspective with the Eve tree, blah blah blah.
Yep.
What if
there's actually more to that I won't get into, but there was something to do with like the white, that like white town or whatever that I mentioned in the past. I have it written down somewhere. I'd have to look. It's been a while. But it had to do with like
backstory.
Yeah, like where Law grew up, because like Dofi and Dragon and all them were like creating the weapons, and talking about using that one material, but then that was also had something to do with that. And that's actually like one way you can interpret something from the mural that talks about the weapons they made. And it was like this whole thing. I'd have to look into it to remember. I'd have to like go and find the post that I wrote everything down with the pictures. But it's
Flevens,
interesting.
White City. Which, by the way, I don't know. Maybe white lead syndrome is a little bit related to radiation. I don't know.
Yeah, to like something that happened with the trees, because like the trees turning white and stuff. Well, that's a whole nother phenomenon too. You see these white trees constantly. Like I've cataloged all these different islands with these huge white trees, or just white trees in general. Like even Sphinx Island or whatever, where Whitebeard grew up, you see like the remnants of like a tree that was like chopped down, like this huge white tree in the background or something. It's like,
Was there any
some kind of
places
something
in
going
throughout
on with
history
that.
that were infected with some kind of white tree?
The Shandora, ancient Shandora, or 400 years ago, Shandora, however long, 400 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
That turned them into moss green, if I'm not mistaken.
Moss green.
Well, something
made
to
them-
note though too is like the Eve tree seems to be the same tree as like on Saboti, like the gosh, I can't think of the word of what type of trees they are. The ones that like
Saboti.
they twist their roots like really weird, and they're near like ocean areas, like shores, like
Mangrove.
and they're usually in the equator area, which is interesting in real life, like that type of tree. Mangroves, exactly, yeah. They're usually near in somewhere in line with the equator, either above, below, or right on the line. And in the One Piece geography, that's basically where the Eve tree in Saboti is too. It's like in the middle of the world somewhere. So it's like, which is, yeah. And then, yeah, we see the roots of the Eve tree that go way down. They have the same pattern as the ones in Saboti with the black, they're white with the black lines on them. So I think the Eve tree probably is a mangrove as well, but it just like, for one reason or another, somehow it grew that massive. I don't know if it was like something from the ancients or something happened scientifically. Like there's multiple theories about it, including like that the roots went into like the lava chambers and it got into that material that's talked about, the same material that was created, that is theorized to have created Zoro's sword, or like those 3 curse swords.
The Katetsus?
Right, exactly, Katetsu, because it's actually mentioned another time out of the context of the swords. So people think that it was literally just named after the material, and it's not like that's literally the material has a special element factor to it that like absorbs like hockey, and it has some kind of other properties to it. Basically, it's like some kind of special ore that's. I'd have to look into it, but somebody made a theory on it that was really cool. Because I don't remember all the details, but it's pretty interesting. But yeah, I do think that the Eve tree is a mangrove, and I do think that like when it talks about like the god of the forest in the mural, I think there is a forest for a god to reside over. So it's like if there's a god of the forest, there has to be a forest. So I think the Eve tree was like the pinnacle of the forest, like the king of the forest, you could say, or the queen of the forest, like, you know what I mean, the crown jewel, so to speak.
Yeah, and on the topic of Sabaody, on Sabaody, the human auctioning house is closed on Saturdays. But in other news, I do envision like the red line being at one point there was just grass and trees everywhere. I think they turned it to a wasteland. Do you guys also ever think about that? Like,
yeah,
I don't.
Possible.
The only tree there was the Eve tree. I think it was literally like a big strip of like I don't even like a big forest. No, because when you look at Sabaody,
right, yeah,
it's like a big cloudy, like closed off like forest. It reminds me of Skypiea, the big forest there. It's almost like
just
the
a
same
big cloud.
Almost like a cloud. I don't even know how to articulate like my intuition here. I just feel like the red line had like a ton of grass everywhere. It was probably nuked out.
I definitely think there's a significance to why Rayleigh chose to settle there with Shaki. because like in Sabaody, because of the resin and like coating the ships. Because again, it ties into my whole theories of like where the One Piece is and like how we have to explore the underwater regions because it's vastly unexplored according to Brooke and Frankie from the lore. So it's like, and I think that's where it is. Like I mean that's why Oda whited he whited everything out so we wouldn't be able to figure out where like Laughtail was. The whole background's just white. Like you can't have any clue on where it is based on the background. So I just think it basically, and it's similar to Dawn and Dust or whatever that you mentioned earlier. He has some good theories. A lot of the elements of some of his theories align with mine. Like he also believes that One Piece is basically in the red line or basically underground, and you have to take like an underwater channel to get there type thing. And I think that's why Rayleigh chose that because he knew like how important undersea travel was. And when Vegapunk was talking about how everything was like flooded underwater, we cut to Rayleigh at one point, like towards the end of that, and he's like, "Don't spoil it for the new guys. You know, this is their adventure to seek out. This is their thrill or whatever." And he's just like sitting there getting drunk, you know, and he's just like, "Come on, don't spoil it." So that's kind of my thoughts, but yeah.
Sorry, off topic. Johan says that's exactly it. Red line. It's a reference to the trees devastated by Hiroshima and Nagasaki. They probably had nuclear weapons in past times of One Piece. They probably had nuclear technology. I think in the way that because you could go two routes. You could go nuclear fusion or nuclear fission.
Well, that's the crazy thing.
I think that might be the reason why when Vegapunk talks about like this infinite energy source that's just all around us or whatever, he might be referring to nuclear energy, and you could use it as this endless energy source. You could use it for good. I think it would be through nuclear fusion, or you could use it as a weapon with nuclear fission, right? So I think just like in the real world, you'll have all these conversations about nuclear weapons. You know, like they'll say like Elbaf is 2 weeks away from building a nuclear bomb, right? But they never talk about nuclear fusion being used to power up cars, nuclear fusion being used to power up factories and stuff like that, which would greatly benefit society. I think this nuclear fusion Oda's literally thinking about, something that he's applying to One Piece and Vegapunk. You know, the One Piece world government, they take nuclear energy. They don't use it as fusion to make the world a better place. They use it as fission to blow up Leloucia, to blow up their ops, you know?
Yeah. Well, that's actually what Dawn and Dust thinks, like the One Piece is like some type of nuclear fission or fusion or whatever. And he thinks like Gear 5 Luffy's going to like grab it and like do something. I forget what he said with it. And it basically like shockwaves the world and like breaks the red line or some crap. I was like, dude, that's great. Maybe. I mean, that sounds pretty like crazy, but I don't know.
What's up, Al?
You feel like joining the open mic today, Al?
No, he doesn't want any smoke.
There's no smoke here. We're all peaceful.
Nah, I'm itching for blood.
But still rages on.
I think like we got to get back to the theories about what this infinite energy source Vegapunk was searching for. What he discovered is, you know, like that was such a hot button topic, you know, last arc. And don't get me wrong, I totally understand why we're not talking about it anymore. You know, we got desensitized, there's new topics and stuff like that. But I do think that's going to be very significant. I think that's going to play a huge role in the Void Century War. Which, by the way, this is also off topic. I've been thinking about this for a long time, and I was mentioning this to my wife earlier. When we talk about the celestial dragons, right, ruling the world, right, we think like, okay, these guys are evil. They're seeking power. They want to take over capital. They want mastery. It's just like a certain group of people in the real world. But when we think of, okay, well, why are they like that, though? You know, this group in the real world, or the real world celestial dragons, you know, they will say, and other people will say, oh, well, they've been persecuted throughout history. You know, they've been ostracized. They've been bullied and kicked out 109 times. All these things, they've always been the victims, right? So this like this is a very complicated topic, but I'll just summarize it so I don't go yapping all day about it. This victim mentality pretty much built their superiority complex. It built their supremacy, their ethnocentrism complex. If you could put it that way, I think maybe it was similar with the Celestial Dragons in One Piece. Like maybe prior to the Void Century, the Celestial Dragons always suffered as a people. They felt maybe they were kicked out of different islands for good reason. Maybe they were punished and excluded from things for legitimate reasons. But whether we believe that it was justified or not, we got to consider how they think. From their perspective, the Celestial Dragons in One Piece, right, could have thought like, you know what, we were always ostracized as a people. We were always kicked out. We were always looked down upon. Now that we can make use of Emu, now that Emu's on our side and we could take down Joy Boy in the Ancient Kingdom, how about we climb the ranks? How about we take control? How about we become the masters of the world because we've been ostracized so much? And this would be like a grander scale of what you see villains go through, not only in general media, but in One Piece. You see these characters who go through trauma, they go through pain, they go through suffering in their own world, in their own life, and they grow up to become the villain. They grow up to become the oppressor. They grew up to be the one inflicting pain on people. But what if this was a whole group of people? What if this wasn't just one person? What if a whole group of people, they felt like they were the ones bashed and hated and ostracized and all these things, and it built up this complex of we need to look out for each other. We look out for our own, and anyone that's not us, screw them. And I was thinking like maybe Oda will take that route for the Celestial Dragons. Because, you always see like the fans we have, which by the way, guys, we always come up with the same theories and ideas because we're reading the same story. Oda's giving us the same clues. We always have these thoughts of like, man, I wonder if Oda is going to make us feel really bad for Akainu. Oh, I wonder if Oda is going to make us have sympathy for Emu. This could be one of the ways that it happens. Hypothetically, before the Void Century, Celestial Dragons are suffering. They're ostracized. They're poor. Everyone hates Celestials. Emu climbs up into the ranks. He starts growing his haki, his mind, his knowledge, global affairs, geopolitics. He gets a crazy fruit. He conquers haki. He creates this whole coalition. Screw Joy Boy, screw Sun God Nika. I hate the Ancient Kingdom. We need to look out for each other. Everyone hates us. And that plays into this mentality of like, we are better than everyone else. Everyone's hated us for the past 2,000 years. It's time for us to shine. And it created this culture that the Celestial Dragons have had until this day. This is something I've been toying around with.
There's a theory that Zebek killed Akainu's dad, like his dad was the admiral or whatever. And that's part of his hatred for the pirates. But it's probably also a lot of like his backstory as a kid and stuff, like what happened, like whatever was going on. But that would be crazy. I mean, I could see it like that being part of it though. Like his dad was the admiral and got just killed by Zebek. Like I don't know.
Got his back smoked by literally the goat. By the goat. What's good, Damon?
I know.
I think this is actually that whole thing. I think that's a plausible route that Oda could go down, not only for the Celestial Dragons, but Emu himself. And this would be very telling of the real world. Like, this is how me personally, it's a very sophisticated, complicated topic, but this concept of like this group of people being hated, they've always felt like they were the victim and ostracized and whatnot. This caused this ideology, this culture, this mindset of I need to look out for my own kind, and because the world hates us all the time, we need to steamroll over everyone else and scam everyone else and abuse the system. And I think like Oda has caught on to this, and he's maybe even portraying this in One Piece, and when I again, like I was pointing this out earlier, I think it's very fascinating. We don't mind playing with this idea when it comes to like an individual person basis. Like, okay, well, one guy, you know, he suffered as a child, so it makes sense that he became like an evil tyrannical leader. But what if a whole group was like this? You know, like that's almost like the taboo. Like, don't even say that. Don't even think about that kind of like a kind of idea. And I don't know, man. I think Oda could do it because there's no other
Some
manga
people
that's
think that he's gonna do like a redemption kind of thing for the Celestials, or like not kill them all off. Like they might have like some character that might kill some of them, but then like he's probably gonna like spare them or something. Like a lot of people think that Oda's gonna like spare them and something like that.
No, what I think is going to happen
Yeah.
is they're probably going to kill the ones that resist, arrest the ones that don't, and the ones that are willing to go through change. They'll give a pass.
I mean, honestly, letting them live and just like sending them out throughout the world would be already a crazy fate for them, because everybody will hate them and be trying to kill them anyways. Like all the civilians will be like, when they don't have power, they don't have anyone to protect them, they don't know how to survive. They've just lived a pampered life. Like they don't know anything of how to live in the real world. So you just send them out all across the world, scatter them around, and like probably just gonna get hunted down anyways by like the civilians, just like Doflamingo's dad. So
be like Oda would have to have a way where you like root out the ideology. You got to root out that way of thinking, because all it takes is for like 100 people to think that way. Then they have like 3 kids, and now it's like what, 300 people, and then that it grows and grows and grows and grows. Oda would have to find a way to root out that ideology, that way of thinking, that way of like, we need to rule the world. Everyone should be under us. We should be the world's masters. We are the gods. And maybe
well,
it would
instead,
be through, maybe it'd be through
Yeah.
Nika, be through Joy Boy. Like, you know, like I think like if you put this in the real world terms, right? The real world celestial dragons, I think one big help for them is realizing who the Messiah is. I think that would help them turn a new leaf. I wonder, like, is there a possibility that maybe like Joy Boy is like a prophetic figure that the celestial dragons and emus looking for? Maybe that would help turn the tide. Because like if you're reading in between the lines with what I'm saying here, the real world celestial dragons, imagine they realized who that like the D-Clan was worshiping Joy Boy the whole time. They rejected Joy Boy. But imagine they all started realizing, oh, shoot, he is Joy Boy. Maybe we should change our ways. Maybe it'll be something similar to that in One Piece, because I don't know how else you would root out this ideology of, like, I'm a superior race. You know, like...
Yeah. Well, they always said that they got worse every generation because they just get more arrogant, more pampered, more everything. Yeah, like increasingly more and more, so...
And the depletion of Holy Knights is dropping more and more because they're either getting too old to fight or they're dying.
The Holy Knights are just punching bags. I'm not gonna lie, bro.
So much punching bag exploded.
I'm not gonna lie though, like the Holy Knights was a huge curveball from Oda, where it's like, oh, there's another faction of the government that can fight people, but I think it actually worked out good. Like, you know, I'm actually not too upset with it, you know, because
yeah, I mean, yeah.
At the beginning, it seemed kind of forced. Like, it's like, bro, you didn't say anything about them for like 99% of the story. Now all of a sudden these guys exist. But I don't know. I think Oda managed to make it work out somehow.
Well, I mean, if he introduced the Holy Knights earlier, he probably would have brought something else up that was even more OP than them.
The only thing that needs a little bit of insight on is going to probably be Shamrock. Well, I guess he's probably been doing like secret missions or whatever his whole life, but it's kind of like this guy just came into the story and he's probably going to be like Kaido level or something. And it's like, dude, who were you fighting this whole time, your whole life, to even get to that level, bro? Like, where have you been? You just been living in Mary Joie, like eating the grapes, like getting the grapes fed to you, bro. Like, what have you been? Like, Shanks at least was out, like, at least Shanks was out in the pirate streets, bro. Like, he was earning them them reps. You know what I mean? Like, where has Shamrock been? And this guy's gonna be like Kaido level out of nowhere. Like, bro,
They got to be training against Emu or something.
he's been training with Garling. Like, yeah, that Rocks guy, he messed me up. I gotta make sure my son can surpass him. Like,
All
right, yeah.
What kind of training they be doing?
All right, boys. It's getting quite late for me, but I don't want to end in this very second. So I'll probably wrap up in a few minutes. But any last comments, questions, theories, and concerns from the text chat? I want to hear Vincent and SL's answer for anything you guys want to say. Alice said Magellan for Holy Night.
I heard people saying that before. I doubt it, but
I mean, he could be a.
I
it's
get
possible
it.
that
I
they
get
have,
it.
like-
They're like, oh, he'll be OP because he'll have the regen, the poison, and everything. So like,
He could be one of the blades. I mean, he was one of the. He did have an attack that was off of a Greek mythos of a Hydra. So he could just be like a low-level blade Holy Knight, and when he, after the whole fiasco with Impel Down, he was demoted. And thankfully not killed.
honestly, Doflamingo would be a better Holy Knight than Sommers. Like,
Which, by the way,
I feel like-
do you still think?
what's up?
you both paused
that's
for each
on
other.
And I don't know if you were here for that, but that's on the bingo
Oh, bro.
card.
Oh, you're cutting out. Is he cutting out for you too, SL?
I think a few times.
Yo, Vincent, you might be cutting out, bro.
Being a Holy Knight is on the bingo card.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's another thing that people say, like maybe Dofi will become a Holy Knight and stuff. And he probably wanted to in the past or whatever. But it's like, I just think, like, I'm not going to lie, I think
Can you hear me?
Doflamingo is just a better combatant. Like, if he had the level 2 steel buff with, like, the regen and the extra power and whatever, I feel like he'd be more capable than Sommers. So I feel like fire Sommers, get rid of him. You know, if I'm Emu, I'm trying to make executive decisions, you know.
Well,
Fire
I mean,
Sommers,
this chapter,
get
if
Dofi
Summers
involved.
is dead, Emu's going to need a replacement.
Nah, should have done that a long time ago, probably. But
Emu
Hey,
being, or not Emu, Dolphy being Holy Knight makes perfect sense. That's a perfect lineup. I like that way more than Cross Guild. Give Law Cross Guild, give Dolphy Holy Knight.
I was just
yeah,
saying
and we
that
know
Dofi-
Moria 100% is going to be joining Cross Guild, and that's why Oda said, and along with Perona, because she's with him, but like that's the whole reason Oda set up that whole thing in Wano with the cover story about him having the Kazuki grave is just because he's a Kazuki, he can read the poneglyphs, and now Buggy has a reader to read the poneglyphs. Like we know
Kozuki
what's
Moria.
coming. Like I already thought Moria was going to join anyways before that, so
I mean, he
they
is
need
the
it.
Shadow
Like they need
Master.
Moria and Perona, and then maybe somebody else like Law and maybe Weevil or something. Like if Weevil possibly joins, then they would be like a full-fledged
He will just be the strong guy.
Yonko power house, I guess you could say. Like have all the commanders they need to be a full threat. What do you think, though?
I mean, makes sense to me. I think I don't know, man. There's just so many ways it could go.
Yeah.
I think it's makes a lot of sense there. I mean, we already have Dofi as being a Holy Knight on the bingo card, so might as well steer into the skid with that.
Man, it's just so many ways it could go, bro. Especially when you factor in other characters, like do they lower, other characters' probability of joining or not joining? What do we see each character's future looking like?
I can definitely see like Holy Knight Dofi versus Cross Guild Crocodile.
For an example, right? Kid. When you think about Kid, it's like, okay, does Kid lower or raise the chance of, like, if Kid were to join Cross Guild, does that affect Law joining Cross Guild? There's so many factors to run through.
I mean, would you consider Kid to be a member of the Willa D?
Hell no.
Exactly. So I don't think that's a fair comparison. That'd be like comparing a pawn to a knight.
I'll tell you what happened to the kid. He went underwater. He accidentally slipped into an underwater current and just drowned. And then we're gonna find his body. And when we get to Laughtail, we take the underwater current. We're just gonna see his body like right at the edge of Laughtail, just dead right there. Like he almost made it, but like.
Or he just winds up on shore somewhere. What if he winds up on shore on the Baka Queendom and Ivankov finds him?
Oh, dude, imagine, even worse, I can make that worse. Imagine kid washes up on the shore of Kamabaka Queendom in sea stone cuffs. Oh, no.
He kill her at their mercy. They're just like, no.
Yo, this dude L said Kid D Eustace. I would drop One Piece.
Some people think that there's going to be a reveal where he was like a descendant of a celestial or like half celestial or something.
No.
It's gonna be like a character development for him or something. I don't know.
Bro, nah. Don't cook.
Just like that's the next cover story, just about kid survival.
The streets should not be listened to. The streets are too big.
How about? Well, one thing I will say, like I've always believed in the Impel downbreak, and after the Weevil stuff, that confirmed it even more. Because like my prediction was that Weevil would be the only warlord who would get captured, and then he'll break out later. Because Oda also said we're gonna eventually see how Weevil fights, and we never saw that. Like he off-screened the fight with Green Bull. So that means he said like, I forget exactly the words he said, but it was like an SBS or an interview, and somebody asked him about Weevil, and then he was like, "You'll see when you see how he fights," or something like that. I forget. But we've never seen that. So him getting captured, and we potentially or eventually we're gonna see how he fights. That means we're gonna eventually see him in the future. So he's definitely got to break out for that to happen. So I was like, that's gonna happen. But what do you think will happen with Queen and King? Because they were sent to Impel Down. Maybe King was taken somewhere else though, because he was Lunarian. So maybe they actually just took him back to a lab or something.
I wanted to ask about that. Do we know that for sure? I wanted to ask about that. Do we know for sure they went to Impel Down? Because I thought we didn't know what happened to them.
Right. I guess we don't know entirely what happened, but they definitely did something with him. I mean, if they were just going to kill him, they probably would have done that.
I think that they actually believe that he is Whitebeard's son, and if they are, they're going to try to extract his DNA to make a seraphim of Whitebeard. Orca.
Maybe. Like with York. I mean, yeah, York. Maybe.
On the other hand, if he's impelled down, then we could see Buggy breaking them out, and we get the confirmation from like I'm trying to remember her name. Who's Whitebeard's mom? Who's
Buckingham.
Yeah,
Buckingham. She'll confirmate that Buggy is actually Zabek's other kid.
She got the bad timeline. Like she got cooked, bro.
Close.
I don't get that. Like, why? I get they get.
She didn't get her love. Like he didn't get Roger, and all that. Like Roger shut it down and gave her the bad timeline. Like Roger not getting with her just shifted her whole timeline, bro. Like
yeah,
cooked.
I thought that was Gloriosa.
Nah, it was Bucky, bro. Stussy fell off, right?
Wait, no, I'm thinking of Stussy was with Viper. Yeah, I'm thinking of Gloriosa. They both had the bad timeline. My fault. You're right. I'm getting it mixed.
Either way, they both got the short end of the stick.
They both got the bad timeline. They both got shriveled into little, whatever. So
it's like a California.
Shocky got the good timeline. I mean, like in comparison, like Shocky got the good timeline. So
I think Gloriosa got the good timeline and Stussy got the bad. Stussy aged like milk, dude.
Yeah, I mean, she got it worse, but Gloriosa is still like a shriveled little granny. Like they're both shriveled little granny. Like they're both like all these like short little shriveled. Like Shocky's still the same height. Like maybe she's slightly shorter. I don't know, but she's not like a shriveled little whatever. So
shriveled little raisin.
A little racist.
It makes me
But
wonder.
honestly,
if-
though, hear me out. What if Queen and King like get out? What do they do? Because like I had an idea where at some point I think Anel's gonna return to the story in some fashion. Like imagine Anel returns and he runs into like King and Queen and just like beats them. Like we got Power Cliff, like post time skip Anel. He's like on a whole nother level. Got like Devil Fruit Awakening, hockey, and all kinds of stuff. And now he has knowledge of like the ancient world from the Skypeans on the moon and stuff. And he knows about the Lunarians.
Training.
Yeah.
Maybe he tries to form a pact with King, like, yo, you're a Lunarian, I'm a freaking Birkin. Let's
And he
squad
uses-
up. And then Queen will be interested because he's a scientist and he's interested in these kind of things. So he's like, oh, you're a freaking blah, blah, blah. You know, like you had the ancient tech on the moon. Like maybe they form some kind of group or something. Who knows?
Moonanites with him. He has the Moonanites.
Yeah, the Moonanites. Exactly.
Armada.
The Olympus
Exactly.
Pirates.
The Moon Pirate.
And
The
Queen
NASA
and King
pirate.
team up.
The
I don't know
big-
what else they would do though, honestly. Like, does anybody have any other ideas? Like, I don't know.
I don't know, bro. All I could do is pray for NL to come back.
I know, dude. I can't wait. Dude, he has to come back. I know he's going to, because Crocodile is relevant and Lucci is relevant, and he was in between those two in the timeline. And Crocodile and Lucci both got a huge power creep. So it's like, there's no doubt in my mind Anel's gonna also do the same. And Anel, honestly, was very impressive. Like he never even got knocked out. Like he didn't even lose consciousness when he got hit by the Bell rifle attack. Like he has a lot of endurance even back then. So you know what I mean? It's like if he gets stronger, you know, gets awakening, hockey, all that kind of stuff, he's gonna be a, you know, he'll be like I see him as like a wild card, you know, kind of just in the mix of the world doing his own thing. I don't see him fighting like the Straw Hats again ever or anything like that. I just see him as like a wild card. He's got his own kind of perspective on the world after reading the lore, and he's kind of just on his own mission type thing. Maybe he
I
wants
like
to,
that.
maybe he wants the throne. Maybe he wants to beat Emu. Who knows? Like maybe he's the one burning the Holy Land. We just see a
I
freaking
was about to say
Rygo
that.
charging. We just see like a Rygo charging over the Holy Land when we cut to there. The Holy Land is a sea of flames. We just see like a 10 times bigger Rygo than the last one. Just freaking
He's got his
charging,
army
like,
of Mecha
spearhead over
Tentata at the
Holy
ready.
Land.
I actually like the idea of all these wild cards in One Piece, but I think
know.
we have to wrap this up here. I'm sorry. Chat, thank you for being here. Of course, SL, Vincent, glad to have you guys. Wish everyone here a wonderful morning, day or night, wherever you guys are. Been lots of fun. Good talking to you again, SL. And you too, Vincent. Chat, everyone have a
Thanks for
beautiful
having
morning.
us.
Get some sunlight, get some food. Pray for Iran, pray for each other, pray the world heals, chat. Grow closer to God, take care of yourselves. Thank you guys for being here. I'm excited for 1176. I hope you guys are too. And shout out to L right before the stream ends with 3333. Young Go.
Yay.
Loki, but Loki's convincing me that he can take on Shanks in W Street. Hey, Loki over Shanks. That's the last thing I'm going to say.
I'm now convinced that Shanks just told Loki to stay hidden until Luffy got to the island. You see that way there?
Vincent and SL, are we on the same page? Loki over Shanks?
Hell yeah.
Honestly, I'm 50-50. I could see them jumping him, but like, yeah, like what Vincent said, people think that he knew the prophecies from Roger, and he basically was trying to stop Loki because the prophecies needed to happen, and if Loki died, it would like ruin the whole prophecy or whatever, and they just.
And Loki seems rational. He seems like he would lay low for the right time.
Yeah, I think Loki is smart, but he was just emotional because his dad, he had to kill his own dad because of the situation that Emu created. So I think he was just pissed off, and in the moment, he was just brash. But I think he's very intelligent. Like, he's not dumb, but he's just very pissed off in the moment.
Loki was thrown out by his own mom. He was ostracized by his own village. He had to kill his own dad. His mentor and role model died.
Yeah,
Dude.
true.
And you,
Bro,
and you say
I just
all
wanted
of
to
that.
crash out,
That's
bro.
the things that Elbaf has
It
done
was-
to him.
It was a
And I-
justified crash out. Like, it was a
Why does he
justified
want
crash
to-
out.
Like, you list
It
all the
was.
things that Elbaf does to him, and I have to ask, Why do you think he should stay? What purpose does he have to stay? Just protecting them? No. These guys.
Yeah, bro.
These
If
guys,
he's not there, Elbaf's getting steamrolled, dude.
True.
he can.
If he's not
They
there, who's the
basically treated him like garbage.
rule?
I understand he did it for their own protection, but
Bro, Van Auger's a low diffing Ya Rule.
He just teleports behind him. Pop, pop, pop. Done.
Bro, San Juan Wolf, Elbaf is cooked.
I'm pretty sure if you upscale Sam Wolf to Loki now, the size difference would be pretty much even.
What?
I don't know. Samuel Wolf might be like as big as like the skeleton thing the Loki hit, or maybe a little bit smaller. I don't know.
I mean, you saw how big he was
I don't
on
remember,
Hachinosu, right?
Yeah, he's
And,
pretty big.
Alvaro.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's safe to say that Loki is as big as Island Pizarro, probably.
Pizarro
No,
and
Pizarro's
Bro.
bigger than Loki. Pizarro's huge. Pizarro's massive, way bigger than Loki.
you guys actually give me a point if what do you call it? If Wano gets raided, it'll probably be by people like Alvaro and San Juan. Maybe even Katarina could morph into a giant. So then that's like 3 Blackbeard giants. You know?
I definitely think they're getting raided. Like even Shanks expected Blackbeard to come to Wano at some point.
Bro, I keep saying Wano. I meant
Like-
Elbaf. I do believe they're going to go to
okay.
Wano. I meant Elbaf in that.
Well, people think so because of Pluton. Like they think that because the one
I see
dude,
Blackbeard trying to
Caribou.
break the wall down to get old Pluton.
Caribou
out.
will tell them about Pluton, and then Blackbeard's like, "I'm gonna go get Pluton." Like,
Yeah.
go to Wano.
But I also see
Who
Shanks
knows?
making a
Who knows?
U-turn and going back to Wano.
Blackbeard coming to
visit
Elbaf
him.
would be insane, though. That would just be like a whole new chaos element of just chaos, like 3-way battle, whatever going on. That would be
All right.
crazy.
1176. We're going to be seeing Blackbeard at Wano. This is where we wrap it up. Take care, everybody. Thank you so much. God bless you all, especially Ellen Vincent. Goodbye, everybody.
God bless.